Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Talk Radio. For those about to talk, we salute you. Talk Radio.
Thank you, George. Evening, dear listener. Don't call in just yet. Do you remember yesterday I played you a bit of that interview with Jerry Lewis, the really awkward interview? We've got the interviewer on. I'm Iain Lee, this is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
The wild man of late night radio is back.
Differently interesting nocturnal emissions from a legend of late night radio.
Iain Lee, on air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
So you get the gig from The Hollywood Reporter to go and interview a genuine American legend. In his time, one of the biggest movie stars around. One of the first movie stars to direct his own movies. A genuine innovator in cinema. He's 90 years old. He's still working. He's a little bit grumpy, but he's still working. What a great gig. So off you go to meet the 90-year-old movie star, to sit down and have a chat with him. You have a camera, you mic him up, and you start asking some questions from a showbiz legend that you think are going to be answered by wonderfully long, verbose, witty replies. Instead, you get this.
Feature on people who are still working in their 90s. Have you ever thought about retiring?
Why?
Was there never a moment that you thought it might be time to retire, or you would want?
Why?
You come from a generation a little older, and I think of Bob Hope, George Burns, Sinatra, people you knew, many of whom didn't want to or never retired either. Do you see similarities with them?
None.
None? What do you think drives people like you and them to want to keep working?
Because we do it well.
And how about what's different about performing now for you than, say, 20 years ago? How is it different for you?
It isn't.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Have you made any? Do you have to make any concessions to being, older in your performing, or does it? How do you keep the material fresh for yourself?
By working at it.
You've had a number of health issues over the last few years, as many people your age do.
Anyone that's 90 does.
Anyone that's 90 does. Continuing to work, does that actually help you get healthier? Does being sort of busy and engaged, do you think that actually helps you get healthier?
No.
It goes on for another 5 minutes. That was only 1 minute and 45 seconds you heard there. And boy, oh boy, didn't it feel longer. And we're sat here listening to it. Well, I'm listening to it in the comfort of my studio. You're listening to it in the comfort of your bed or your kitchen or your car. Imagine being the person asking the questions. How uncomfortable must that be? Well, we can find out, because I've got the gentleman here this evening from Los Angeles, California. It's Andy Lewis. Good evening, Andy.
Hi, Iain. How are you?
Well, I'm good, thank you. And I've got to say, you are no relation to Jerry Lewis. That's just a coincidence.
Yep, that's right.
You work that interview was for The Hollywood Reporter. What is The Hollywood Reporter for the people listening in Britain?
We're a weekly magazine about the industry, published here in Hollywood.
And how did you get the gig? How did you find out you got the gig to go and interview Jerry Lewis?
So we were going to do this big package of people who are creative in their 90s, 10 people in Hollywood, Norman Lear, Dick Van Dyke, Betty White, and Carl Reiner, who are still gloriously working into their 90s and trying to figure out a little bit about how that works. And Jerry, who's a legend, was on that list because he's still touring at 90. And I actually volunteered to do Jerry because he's a legend, and I thought it would be fun, and I was going to do a couple others, so this seemed like it would be great fun. Little did I know.
Well, listen, I've been a little bit obsessed with Jerry Lewis because I've read a couple of books and I really got into his films, and we spoke to a friend of his and we spoke to someone who'd written a book about him. And it's fair to say, throughout his career and throughout his life, he has been famously awkward. How did listen? I've been trying to get him on the show. I know it's never going to happen, but it's kind of a dream. How was the interview arranged? Was it easy to arrange the meeting with him?
It was pretty easy to arrange. We have a good name out in Hollywood, and as you can hear, a lot of people were participating in this. So I took a couple calls to his manager. The toughest part was just finding a day when he was not touring and that we could do it before the end of the year. So that was actually not as difficult as you would imagine.
And how many people, because it was filmed, how many people were there with you?
There was maybe 5 or 6. There's a photographer, a couple of his assistants, a videographer, me, Jerry's manager. So maybe there were about 5 of us or so. Is
it Jerry's manager who you hear at the end when he says, "I think this is over now"?
Yeah, I think that's Jerry's manager. Yeah, that's right.
It's an amazing clip. When you got there, what was the reception from Jerry like? Was he frosty from the off? Did you say something to him before the cameras started rolling that annoyed him?
I wish I could take total blame for this. I walked into his house and I caught a glimpse of him in the living room watching TV, and he looked a little angry already.
Uh-oh.
But then when we did the photo shoot before the interview, he just was unhappy with the amount of equipment in the house, with the photographer, with the number of assistants. And so he just thought that we could do it with, much less hubbubaloo, and that upset him.
So already he was unhappy with the number of people you've got there. And of course he's famously a very grumpy, controlling man. You sit him down, you fire off the first question. At what point did you realise this wasn't going to go anywhere?
Oh, I was pretty sure even before we started the interview it wasn't going to go well, because I could see how annoyed he was with the photographer, and that he wasn't. Our photographer's a great photographer and has shot everybody from President Obama to ordinary people, and he was trying to engage Jerry, and I could see that Jerry wasn't interested in that. So I was already flustered when we sat down because I could see that he was angry, and that we were maybe in trouble. And after he answered the first question with one word and a glare, I knew that I was in trouble.
Oh, bless you, Andy. I love Jerry Lewis so much, and for a lot of people, it's changed their opinion on him. I kind of respect him even more. I've interviewed people, right? I've interviewed quite a few people, and most people they'll play the game, and they know that they're there to promote something, or they'll play the game. But I have had 1 or 2 interviews where the person, for whatever reason, doesn't like me, or doesn't want, has had a tough day, or doesn't want to play. And you get the one-word answers, the yes, the no answers. What was going on how are you feeling after the first couple of questions?
Oh yeah, we've all been there where something has totally gone south. I definitely got flustered at that point. Yeah. I mean, it takes 2 people to make a terrible interview, and Jerry definitely didn't want to answer any questions, but I was definitely not feeding him the questions he wanted, and I traveled to Vegas from Los Angeles to do the interview, and all the other ones had gone well, and I was trying to do my job, thinking I don't want to go back to L.A. being the one person who was assigned to do one of these, and they didn't go well at all, and I'm just kind of praying that he'll take the bite on one of the questions if I keep trying, and then we can get a conversation going. Because, when you do an interview, sometimes you start with a question and you're just trying to get the conversation going and the ball rolling. And I'm just sort of praying that if he takes the bait at one of them, we can sort of move forward. And that never happened. And the longer it went on, the longer I knew I was just in a hole and I couldn't figure out how to get out of it, honestly.
You do that thing, a bit. We had a little bit of it there and a bit more later on, and I've done it, where you know you're not going to get an answer from them, and as you're asking the question, you just see hatred in their eyes, and you start over-explaining the question. And it just, I really felt for you, Andy, because, I mean, I do love him, but he was being a bastard then. There's no two ways about it. He was not playing the game. At any point in it, did you think of going, do you know what, Mr. Lewis, I can tell you don't want to be here. Shall we just go?
Yeah, in retrospect, clearly, I maybe wish I had done that. I wish I had just paused for a second and said, "Is there anything we can do to make you more comfortable or more happy to make this happen?" But I was a little afraid he would just get up and walk out.
Yeah.
And like I said, all I was thinking was, I've been sent to Las Vegas to do this, and I'm going to have to go back to the office and report that I failed. And I was just really trying to do my job, hoping that it would work out. I know that seems somewhat silly in retrospect, but I just was really praying that I could get something out of him. No. You know, it was only supposed to be... Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was going to say, and it's not silly because, you know, it's not as if you're a paparazzi or you're doorstepping him or, you know, you kind of just rocked up as he's coming out of a theatre or something. There is, you know, it was a prearranged thing, and he's being rude, you know. There's no two ways about it. He's being rude, and he's not playing the game, and that is unfair of him.
Yeah, he's not playing the game. He was unhappy, you know, and with what he thought was the setup and all the other things, and so he just didn't want to cooperate, and that was sort of unfortunate. You know, we were only going to go for about 15 minutes anyway. It wasn't supposed to be a super long interview, so we were just really trying to get, you know, his thoughts on what's kept him vital and why he stayed in the business, you know, and why he continues to work. And we just couldn't get what we wanted.
Who else did you personally speak to, Andy? Did you do Dick Van Dyke?
I didn't do Dick Van Dyke. I did Norman Lear.
Wow, okay.
Which was great fun. And, you know, Norman Lear told a hilarious story about how he's often thought about longevity going back to when he was a teenager and he was pulled up at a traffic light and the driver next to him caught him picking his nose and he was embarrassed. And then he said, I thought to myself, maybe nose picking is the key to longevity and I should keep picking my nose. So, you know, not all of them went terrible. And we had 4 or 5 reporters do these. And, you know, Cloris Leachman, when we asked her, have you ever thought about retiring? And her answer right away was F no. And so
it's a great it's a great feature. It's a great feature. When you went back to the office, I imagine you rocked up with your tail between your legs a bit. What did your colleagues say when you kind of presented the evidence to them?
Well, that's a great question. Yes, I did come back with my tail between my legs, but then over a couple weeks, the video made its rounds around the office, and I could hear people laughing, and I could hear laughing at the other end of the office, and people would send me notes. This is the greatest thing ever. Yeah. This is funny, and I sort of saw that there had been a kind of unintentional, you know, comedy in this, and that that the video would be, you know, in my own failure, there was some comedy. So actually, it was the reception in the office that made me feel a little bit better about it, mostly because people, like I said, as the video made its way around the office, I could hear laughter over the course of a couple weeks. You know, there'd be some uproarious laughter, and then somebody would come up to me and said, I just watched the video. And I felt better.
It's gone viral. You know, it popped up in my Twitter timeline over the last couple of days, about 5 or 6 different times. It popped up on my Facebook. People were emailing me the link. It's gone all around the world. People love it.
People do love it. I think the best description of it somebody gave was a real-life version of Zach Galifianakis' Two Ferns, Between Two Ferns. You know? And I thought that was right. Or I thought that, you know, Ricky Gervais would love this because this is, you know, awkward British comedy at its very best, is it not?
Oh, it's beautiful. Do you know what, Andy? I was saying to my producer, I would have so much respect for you today if when we'd started this interview, you'd have just gone, yeah, uh-huh, Maybe. I was kind of thinking you might have done that, and I would have loved you if the whole interview had been awkward. Honestly, great. Andy, I think it's brilliant. This makes me love Jerry Lewis even more. The fact that he's 90 years old and he doesn't give a stuff, and he is, and I'm sorry he was rude to you, and I think you come out of it really well as well, because you sound like a delightful, person, and he comes across badly, but it makes me love him even more. So thank you for that.
Sure, sometimes things just go wrong, and given all the things that are going on in the world, if people are laughing at this, I feel like that's great.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with that.
Have you had any feedback from him? Has his manager or anyone been in touch to say pull that video or anything?
No, we haven't heard from him at all, and I don't expect to, hear from him. I don't think he has anything to apologize necessarily. I mean, I know what you said, but he was unhappy with it, and he expressed that. So, that's fine. But he consented to the interview, and we put the video up. So I don't expect to hear from him, and that's okay.
Who's next? Who's the next big interview in your diary, Andy?
Well, I think I need to take a break for a few days. I think my bosses have said that I can have a few days to catch my breath before I have to tackle anybody else.
Well, you listen, mate. Thank you for coming and joining us. Have a lovely Christmas, and
all right, you too.
Well done. It's a cracking video, Andy. Thank you very much indeed, Andy Lewis from the Hollywood Reporter. We played a lot of that clip last night, and it's done the rounds on Twitter, and it's done the rounds on Facebook, and it is wonderful. And I love Jerry Lewis even more because of it, because he comes across as a cantankerous old so-and-so. It's wonderful. Thank you very much, Andy. What a pleasure to talk to you. OK, ladies and gentlemen, the phone lines is open. And if you don't want Alan Caddick to be the first caller of the night, you better get in quick. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over.
Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000. If you want to watch the show, we're on facebook.com/Iain Lee. Good evening, dear listeners. You can call in about absolutely anything you want. And I'll kind of reiterate what we said yesterday. There's so much misery and nastiness and horribleness going on in the world that I kind of just thought, it's a few days before Christmas, isn't it? I'm not feeling very Christmassy, but it's a few days before Christmas. So why don't we do our darndest to just, have fun and celebrate and embrace, instead of, if you want hatred, if you want anger, if you want, all the anti-whatever rhetoric, there are so many places you can go and get that, dear listener, so many places. And you're welcome to, if that's what you want, you're welcome to. We can make this 3 hours for the next few nights, 3 hours a night, where we don't scare each other, and we don't spook each other, and we don't get each other angry. We can do that, can't we? Can't we? I see on Twitter now it's fashionable to attack Brendan Cox. Who's he? Oh, it's Joe Cox's husband. Yeah, you remember the MP that was murdered? Yeah, it's fashionable to attack Brendan Cox these days. Not even had the first Christmas without his wife. Yeah, and we're already attacking him. Seriously, honestly. You look at the feed of some other broadcasters, in inverted commas, and, oh, God, the abuse to this poor man. Just because he said something about Nigel Farage, the abuse this poor man is getting. Oh, it's shocking. What have we become? What have we become? We're attacking Brendan Cox. He lost his wife 6 months ago. 6 months, blimey. He lost his wife, and we're 5 or 6 months, and we're attacking him. Why are we doing that? What have we become? Oh, God, what are we? So if you want that, that's out there, right? That's out there on Twitter, and it's out there on Facebook, and it's out there on other radio shows. We don't need that here, do we? Let this be a little Christmas window where we embrace and we celebrate and we laugh and we enjoy. Should we do that? Can we kind of have that as a contract between us? Would that be okay? Good, thank you. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you've never called, we call you back. So you phone up, you'll speak to Kath or you'll speak to Ed. They'll take your name, your number, they'll give you a ring straight back and put you on. That's generally how it works. And as I was saying to George, in the very brief 90 seconds we have as we swap over, I kick him out of the studio and I come in and he goes. The phones are going to be pretty empty this week because, well, as he said, jokingly, you've got to be a sad case to be listening to us this week. He was joking, but I get his point because it's Christmas parties, kids are off, work parties, it's all kinds of stuff. People are going away. So it's going to be quiet on the phones. And I'm prepared for that, and that's great. So if you do give us a call, you know, you'll get on. Even Holy Ken will get on, who's calling us. 0344 499 1000. Look at that, saying that, and all the phones have gone bonkers. Let's go to Harry. Evening, Harry.
Evening, Ian. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Harry. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm just ringing you for the first time, just because you wanted cheering up. I just rang you to say Merry Christmas.
Now, thank you, Harry. You said Merry Christmas, not Happy Christmas, which is the correct way of doing it.
Yeah, it's Happy New Year, Merry Christmas.
Thank you. The number of people that think it's acceptable to go, oh, Happy Christmas. What?
It winds me up. It annoys me so much.
Well, it's wrong. The song is, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And you wouldn't wish someone a Merry New Year. That's just stupid.
I don't even want to wish them a happy Christmas if they say that. I want to wish them an unhappy Christmas.
I want them to... Do you know what? You're right. I want them to have a miserable Christmas if they want to wish me a happy Christmas.
Bar humbug to them.
Bar humbug to them. What are your Christmas plans, Harry?
Well, it's just with the family and listening to talk radio all Christmas Day, I'm sure.
Shut up, you idiot. You got Julia Hartley-Brewer at 1 o'clock on Christmas Day. Flipping it.
I won't be listening to her then.
My mum will come to us, then we'll go around to my mother-in-law's. I'm not feeling Christmassy at all, though.
You know what? I'm not either. It was my last day at school today, Ian, and then I think maybe tomorrow I'll get into the Christmas spirit.
Blimey, they kept you late. Tuesday the 20th?
It's mad.
That's outrageous behaviour.
It's ridiculous. I'm fuming.
Yeah, I can tell. I'm getting the fury in your voice, Harry, and you're an angry young man, and I can understand that. I can appreciate that. Well, thank you for calling. Thank you for breaking your duck.
That's okay.
It's nice to hear new voice. How long have you been listening to this show?
To your show, only a couple of weeks. I am a fan of John.
Oh, John Holmes?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you've been listening... Hang on a minute. How can you listen to John Holmes, who's on, I think, what is he, on 1 till 4 in the afternoon, when you're at school?
Because listening again is a brilliant feature.
Okay, so you're not saying that sometimes you sit at the back of class with headphones in, listening?
No.
Outrageous. Kids these days, blimey! All right, well, listen, John, you're right. John is absolutely brilliant, and he's well worth a listen. I'm glad you stumbled onto this mess, Harry. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Merry Christmas, up yours!
And a Happy New Year.
Thank you very much indeed. You see, there we go. That's how you do it. What a nice young man. Is it, though, that they listen in the back of class? Because you get tiny headphones now, can't you? Like, they're like little buds. Put a little bud in your ear. And just one hand over your ear, like that. And you can listen away to John Holmes. Imagine that. Imagine the generation of young people that are going to be thick because they missed 3 hours of school a day because they were listening to blooming John Holmes. Outrageous behaviour. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Alan, Tony, Holy Ken, stay there. Come to you after this.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Give it up, Alan.
Hip, 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 hip.
Yes, I accept that hip, hip, hip readily and verily.
I'm looking at the Talk Radio website for the schedule for Christmas Day.
You just say that again, but in English.
I'm looking at the Talk Radio website schedule for Christmas Day.
The schedule for Christmas Day. Yeah, wagwan.
It looks like a normal Sunday.
No, it's not.
We got Best of You at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, while the kids are opening their presents, you can listen to me.
Then Jakey up at 8.
Huh?
Then Let's Talk with Em and Holmes at 11.
Ooh.
Then Andy J at 1.
No. Batman. Julia Hartley-Brewer's on at 1 o'clock.
Looks like someone hasn't updated the website.
Someone hasn't updated the website. Hang on a minute. Well, let's hang on a second. Let me go and have a look at this. Talkradio.co.uk. Let's have a little look at the old. Are you a schedule or a schedule man?
Schedule.
All right. Radio schedule. There we
Sunday,
go.
25th of December.
I know what day Christmas is, man. I'm not stupid. Hang on a minute. All right, so you click on schedule, then you go down to Sunday, the 25th of December. Oh yeah, look. Andy J's on at 1. 7 Days of Talk Radio with Kath's on at 3. That's wrong.
Johnny's on at 4.
That's wrong.
Bob Mills at 7.
That's wrong.
And, at least Howard is right.
Ed is going to... Here we go. Ed has sent me the schedule. Do you want me to give you the proper schedule?
Yeah, let's have the schedule.
Let's do it. Let's do it, Alan. Right. Christmas Day. Hang on a minute. 25th December. Right. 6 o'clock. In the morning.
Yeah?
Paul Ross, full set Christmas breakfast.
Oh, Paul Ross will wake you up on Christmas morning.
Yeah, is that pre-recorded or live? We don't know. Let's say live.
Yeah.
James Wales on at 10.
Oh, yeah.
1 o'clock, it's the review of the year with Julia Hartley-Brewer.
I thought she was off.
No, I told you she was on. Christmas Day. It'll be a pre-record. She ain't coming in.
Yeah, because she's currently not well.
Sorry?
Currently not well.
No, is she? I think. Where did you get that from?
Could I just listen to a trial that James Riley's covering for her?
Yeah, I don't think she's ill. I think she's just got a week off, innit? I thought she'd had this plan for ages.
Right.
Or we could spread the rumour she's not well.
Yeah, sounds good.
Post-truth. It's post-truth politics. Julie Hartley-Brewer's off ill.
Is Her Majesty on at 3?
3, yes, she is.
Yeah.
Then 3 till 6, it's the year according to Delaney. I don't know what that means.
That's Sam Delaney.
6 till 7, John Holmes walks with gorillas. It's actual gorillas. What a... 7 till 10, Bob Mills. 10 till 1, I'm Howard Hughes.
The Unexplained Christmas Special.
The Unexplained Christmas Special, and it'll be all about the baby Jesus.
I thought it would have been about Santa Claus.
Well, the thing is, the moment will have passed by then, because it will all be about Jesus, because that's a miss. Jesus and Santa Claus, they're the same person, aren't they?
I don't know.
Are they not?
Oh, that'll be something for Howard to talk about.
It'll be something. I mean, he'll talk about anything. I enjoy... I'm getting into a new routine on Sunday nights where I turn Howard Hughes on my phone. I've got the Talk Radio app on my phone. And I'll listen to him on a Sunday, and I'll have it beside me, and I'll fall asleep listening to Howard Hughes, so I dream about bullshine.
Sounds promising. Have you been to any Christmas parties yet?
Well, I went to the News Corps Christmas party, which was very nice. Thank you very much.
The Talk Radio Christmas party.
No, the News Corps Christmas party. I didn't go to the Talk Radio Christmas party.
All right.
I didn't go to that. I'm not... You know me, Alan. I'm a man of few Christmas parties, and
you've got the boys as well.
Yeah. Well, no, but I'm working.
But are the boys going to be with you Christmas morning?
The boys will be there Christmas morning. They're all rocking and rolling and ready to go. Barbara Ann.
Well, with me, I've got my brother coming down from Blackpool.
Oh, what have you bought your brother?
I've got
Xbox.
Well, he's going to get me the mini Mega Drive.
Your brother's not called Robert, is he?
Yeah.
He's listening to us right now.
Spooky.
He's posted on my Facebook page.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Robert Caddick! Robert Caddick! Alan Caddick's brother! Robert Caddick! They come from the same mother!
My oldest brother.
Robert, phone in now. Robert Caddick.
499 1000.
Oh, we've got to get the Caddick brothers on. Robert, phone in now. Phone in now, Robert. He's posted on my Facebook page. Robert, 0344 499 1000. Phone in, Robert. phone in, Robert.
Bravo.
Come on, we want double Caddick. That would make any lady hot.
It'd be interesting.
Sorry?
Well, cast back to my mum. I wonder how to feel speaking to me brother.
When, well, I wonder how I'll feel speaking to your brother. I wonder how you'll feel speaking. I wonder how I feel you'll feel speaking to your brother. I wonder how we'll all feel. Does he have access to a telephone?
He's got mobile.
Does he live in Blackpool?
Yeah.
He's calling in now. Robert Caddick, Alan. Hang on a minute. He's calling in. This is literally the most exciting thing that's ever happened.
We need to get this on the podcast.
Oh, you better believe it, baby. We're going to get a TV series out of this. The Caddicks. When they met, it was Moida. Oh, I'm so excited. Right, hang on a second. Right, Alan, shut up. Can I speak to Robert Caddick, please?
Hiya.
Hey!
Hi, bro.
Hiya, Al. You all right, kidder?
I didn't feel to be on talk radio.
I know, well, I just thought I'd listen on Facebook, and then I thought, sod it, I might as well say hello to my... I've been listening for ages.
Hey, Robert, you know that Alan's an actual radio legend?
I've heard and seen it on YouTube and everything else, so yeah, I know, and thank you very much for putting up with him as well.
Well, it takes him off your hands, I suppose, so in that ways it must be a help.
My mum and dad's hands as well, too, because it gives them something to do, I suppose. So.
Oh, Robert, can I tell you, what an absolute, bless you, what a pleasure it is to speak to you at last. We've heard a lot about you.
I hope it's all good instead of bad.
No, he's been slagging you off terribly, mate.
No, not a lie.
No, Alan,
it's all good.
Alan, I will deal with this. You've been very, very rude about Robert over the past...
No, I haven't.
I
haven't.
Vaguely libelous.
No, I haven't.
If anybody tells me to my face anyway when he sees me, so...
We had... did he tell you this, Robert? Me and Kath, my producer, we did a little thing last weekend. We did like a sort of... Performance ring. We did like a talent night where it was made up of all the listeners. Not all the listeners, of listeners.
Right.
And Alan was the opening act.
What, did he do his star checking by chance?
Yes, I did.
You know him so well.
He's famous for his star checking. He's done it since he was about 14 years old. He's absolutely...
That must drive you nuts.
It drives me nuts, but he's good at it, though, so he's fair play to him.
He performs it. He does perform it, and once is marvellous. But having that for over the last, however, 24 years or however long that is, that would drive a man to drink, surely.
That's why I moved to Blackpool territory, before I could get away from it.
Cheeky!
Oh, it's so funny hearing two brothers.
130 miles isn't far enough, territory.
Say that again, Robert.
I said even 130 miles isn't far enough. I tried getting on the space station, but they wouldn't allow me, territory.
Hey, Robert.
There you are, Major Tim P.
Shut up. Robert, how is Blackpool this time of the year? Must be, is it a bit bleak?
It's cold, but, you know, it's warm, but, you know, that's Blackpool for you. I can see the tower from where I am as well, so...
Yeah. You've been up there for a while. Not the tower, but you've been in Blackpool for a while.
6 years.
Hey, how are you finding it? All right.
It's all right, to tell the truth. It's sort of better than I thought it would be, but, you know...
Yeah. And are you going back? You're going back down to Birmingham for Christmas, are you?
Yeah, I'm going down on Christmas Eve, so...
Beautiful. And is Mum doing the Christmas dinner?
No, I am. I'm cooking it.
Oh, what a good boy. What a good son.
Yeah, well, my mum's not been very well, to tell the truth. Don't know if Alan's told you.
Yeah, no, how is she doing now, Robert? She's on the mend, is she?
She's moaning, which is a good sign.
Oh, yeah. Now, we've had little updates, and we all got very, very concerned when Mum went back into hospital recently, so that's good that she's...
Yeah, because I never spoke to my mum and dad for a couple of years, and then I had a phone call saying that she was really ill, etc.
Yeah.
And then I've kept in touch, and she's getting a lot better. But you know, it's trial and error. She'll get better, and then when she's better again, she'll just clip Alan around here when she can.
Oh, isn't it funny? Because I didn't speak to my dad for quite a few years, Robert, and I made peace with my dad. I'm not prying about your situation, but I made peace with my dad just before he got ill. Mm-hmm. I made peace with him, then he got ill, and then he went and died, and it was a terrible bit of timing. So, you know, I hope it's...
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
You know what I mean?
It's similar to my mum and your dad is similar circumstances, but luckily enough, my mum survived. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Her wish was to get everybody back together again. It's back down.
It's funny, isn't it, how that sometimes does it? And are you cooking the full works, Robert?
Yeah, I'm doing turkey, the full works.
Brussels sprouts?
Sprouts, pigs in blankets, carrots, everything.
Roast parsnips?
Yeah, roast parsnips, roast onions, a lot. And what you getting me for Christmas anyway? I was intrigued what you're getting me.
Yeah, Alan, what are you getting Robert for Christmas?
I'm not saying.
Well, how much are you going to spend?
It's already been bought, put it that way.
Where have you hidden it?
It's wrapped up under the tree.
How big is it, Alan?
You got about a Christmas present.
Yeah, shut up, you Caddick. Shut up, Caddicks.
What?
Shut up, Caddicks.
Which one?
Both of you now. I've got two to wind me up. This is a nightmare. Listen, Robert, it's an absolute pleasure to talk to you, mate. Thank you for... I saw you pop up on Facebook, so thank you for calling in. You're a very good sport.
No problem.
Best of luck cooking the dinner, and I hope you have a lovely Christmas.
I won't. Thank you very much. You have a Merry Christmas as well, and I won't pest you as much as Alan pestered you.
God, please.
I'll just listen because I do like your comedy, and I think how you talk about things and everything. I think you're spot on.
Shut up, Alan. He's being nice about me. He's actually saying something nice and constructive, which is he's been on the show for 5 minutes. You've been on the show for 8 months. He's contributed more in this 5 minutes than you've ever done, Alan. I prefer Robert over Alan.
Thank you very much, but I know what some of your issues are controversial and everything else, but that's good. They just say what everybody else is thinking, and well done for that as well. So,
Robert, nice to speak to you, mate. Have a lovely Christmas, Alan.
Mate, Merry Christmas to you all as well, and I'll see you soon, Alan. Okay,
Alan.
Yeah, Ian.
Up yours, mate. Bye bye. 0344 499 1000. Well, that was weird.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
If you're watching on Facebook, hello, facebook.com/Iain Lee. If you're listening online or on DAB or on your smartphone, good evening. Lawrence, we're trying to call you and it's not working, so could you give us a call back, please? Thank you very much indeed. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. Tony.
Hello, Ian. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you, Tony. What you got?
Well, I thought I would sort of come full circle with the whole Dexter Fletcher thing, because we haven't spoken since.
Why didn't you call in when we had Dexter Fletcher on?
Because you called me.
Because of what?
Because I was too embarrassed, because on the night, you sort of said, oh, she'll call in and we'll never get a word in edgeways.
Oh, you muppet.
I know, I'm a bit sensitive. Like, no, I didn't. The thing is,
you bottled, Tony. You bottled it, and that's fine.
No, the thing is, I speak to you, but I would never speak to somebody else.
What? You'd never speak
ever
to anybody else? I'm the only person you speak to.
Literally.
Fruitcake.
No, it was just, I speak to you and...
he was nice, Dex. I call him Dex. Me and Dex. I like Dex.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
Yep.
You're friends.
Yeah.
You're friends now.
Yeah, well, you could have been friends, but you bottled it, so he's mine. Yeah, I've nabbed him.
I know. So, the thing is... can I ask you a question?
You can ask it. I may not answer it.
Okay. Do you remember I said to you to watch Wild Bill to the very last frame?
Well, yeah, and I misunderstood that because I thought you meant till, the end of the credits. But you didn't. You just meant to the end of the film, which is what I would do anyway, because I watch films.
I know.
But I'm sat there. No, I'm sat there, and I'm sitting watching the credits going, there'll be a bit at the end of the credits because she's made such a specific point about watching it to the last frame. And there wasn't. You just meant the ending. The ending. Why would I not watch a film till the ending?
Well, if you remember, you did say I was dead to you if it wasn't good in the first 20 minutes. Okay. Well, my point was, it was just you.
He laughs at the end.
Watched the film.
Yeah.
You've seen there's certain things that are really worth watching, like, for example, the plane scene, the lift scene.
I forgot to mention the plane scene to him. There's a brilliant shot where they're throwing paper airplanes out the window. And this paper airplane goes for absolutely miles, and the camera tracks it all around, and I forgot to mention that.
And then I thought the end scene was very similar to the lift scene, except for the lift scene he was working himself up.
The lift scene he was going down, and in the last scene he was being driven. The last scene was like the end of the Long Good Friday.
No, but he was like really upset, wasn't he?
Yeah,
then
he started laughing.
The whole range of emotions, and then that smile at the end.
Yeah.
I just thought that last smile at the end, it was just so...
But why wouldn't I watch a film till the very end?
Oh, I don't know. But do you know what I found out recently?
Yeah, go on.
You know Avengers films?
Yeah.
Is it the Avengers ones?
Oh.
If you watch them all the way to the end, there's always a...
Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. There's always a bit about a minute after the credits that's a teaser for the next film.
Oh,
and I thought that's what you meant when you said watch it to the end of the... Or like James Bond, when it says James Bond will return in Octopussy. Does all that?
No.
Do they still do that at the end of James Bond films? James Bond will return in. They used to do that with the Sean Connery and Roger Moore. James Bond will return in The Living Daylights.
Well, I didn't get to the end of Spectre, so I don't know.
He's a bit boring, Craig Douglas. Not Craig Douglas, he's Kung Fu Fighting, isn't he? He's the Kung Fu Fighting man. I'd like to see Craig Douglas doing it. Kung Fu Fighting man. Everybody was Kung Fu fighting. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. Kicks was fast as lightning. There were funky Chinamen from funky Chinatown. Funky Chinamen from funky Chinatown. It was a little bit frightening. Couldn't make a song like that now, could you? Political correctness gone mad.
Not really.
No.
So...
Funky Chinamen. I said funky.
You're allowed to say funky.
You say funky. Do you know what funky means? Do you know the origin of the word funk? Funky?
No, I don't.
It's quite unpleasant. Are you ready for it?
Oh, okay. I'll prepare myself. Because I've said to somebody, do you know what munted means? And they had to prepare themselves.
This is worse than that.
What, the muntering?
I don't want to know what that means.
No, I don't think you do. You know when somebody says...
No, I know, yeah. Funky means the smell of sex.
Oh, the funk.
The what?
Funky.
Funky means the smell of sex, which, by the way, Smell of Sex is a great name for a band.
So when Michael Jackson says at the beginning of Thriller, doesn't Vincent Price say something about the funk of...
Hang on a minute. Does Vincent Price do it?
Is there not something at the beginning of Thriller that says the funk of so many thousand years?
Thriller.
It might be Spence. It might be.
Let's have a look. Hang on. Here we go. Oh, this is. Oh, hang on a minute.
Just before he says there's something of the Thriller.
Let's find out.
Very good word.
Let's see what he does. So Michael Jackson is changing into a werewolf. It's the same. It's directed by the same guy that did American Werewolf in London. Same
John Carpenter.
John Landis.
He's in the opening scene. He comes out of the crypt.
Hang on a minute. Oh, hang on. Where's Vincent Price? Here we go. Is Vincent Price in the middle?
No, it's at the beginning, isn't it?
Well, it's not. It's not there. Hang on. Here we go. There he is. Listen. Go.
The foulest stench is in the air. The funk of 40,000 years.
Oh, the smell of sex of 40,000 years. Oh, that is disgusting.
Who thought that? Oh, Michael Jackson.
It is disgusting. The smell of sex of 40,000 years. Oh, God, that is disgusting. Dirty Jackson. And that was just the socks under his bed.
So John Landis...
Yeah.
You know the video?
Yeah.
Of Thriller?
Yeah.
He is in the video.
I think I'm looking at him now. He's the fella coming out of the drain, is he?
He's coming out of the crypt.
Oh, I'm not looking at him then.
Okay, then. But,
we covered a lot of ground in that phone call, Tony. I'm wrapping it up because I really want to get to Holy Ken.
Oh, can I just say one more thing to you?
Yeah, go on.
I wanted to observe the fact with your interview with Dexter, by the way.
Yeah.
How you got so much out of him.
Yeah.
And I think because he wasn't there to promote something, because nowadays most people just come on to promote stuff anywhere, don't they?
Yeah.
And I think because he wasn't there to promote anything, he just talked freely. And when you talked about,
I didn't know he lived in a car when he went bankrupt. Incredible. And
to say that just so freely.
I'm quite good at my job, aren't I?
Oh, Ian.
Isn't it?
You are the best. You are good.
Tony, thank you very much indeed. 0344 499 1000. If you missed the interview with Dexter Fletcher, it really is cracking. It's on the podcast. If you go to iTunes, type in Iain Lee, it'll pop up. You go to Pocket Cast or your usual podcast provider, you'll be able to get it there. Holy Ken, did you know what funky meant?
I have no idea, my friend. I have no idea.
It means the smell of sex.
I heard you know, yes.
Yeah.
But listen, I've got some wonderful news to...
Can I ask you, Holy Ken, is your wonderful news about Jesus?
Yes.
Yeah, I know it's Christmas and everything, but I know, but Ken, I just find you bearing witness, I find it a little bit... I think you do...
Let me tell you.
No, I think you do Christians a disservice. He's gone. OK, well, that worked. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. I've not got a thing against Christians at all. At all. And I don't mind people. I don't, I was at a carol service the other day. All the stories and all that. I love all that. And I don't mind people talking about Jesus either. It's just, it's done with such in Ken's case, such a... Ken won't have a conversation about it. I'm quite happy to have a conversation about it. But Ken exudes a certain arrogance about it. And it's arrogance I don't like. Not Christ, not Jesus, not God, not the... I love all that. It's great. It's the arrogance I don't like. And I think mine and George's are the only shows on British radio that he can get on. And if he's just going to come on and say that, some people think I'm being rude, and well, maybe I am. Oh no, hang on a minute. He's come back for round two. Yes, yes, Ken.
Hello, Ian.
Oh God, I thought we got away with it. Ken, yes, you disappeared.
Oh, I thought you'd cut me off.
No. Au contraire, you just vanished.
I was going to tell you about a wonderful experience I had 36 years ago.
Is it when Christ entered your heart?
Pardon?
Is it when Christ entered your heart?
Well, let me tell you.
No, Ken, because if it is, I was just saying, and you will have missed this, I'm not anti-Jesus, I'm not anti-Allah, I'm not anti-Islam or anti-Christian, I'm not anti-Vishnu, I'm a bit anti-Vishnu, actually. I'm not anti any of these things, right? Everything is groovy in its own way. What I am anti, Ken, is just quite boring stories rammed down my throat with a hint of arrogance. And with the greatest... Yeah.
Come on now, you're talking nonsense.
There's the arrogance, Ken. There's the perfect example of the arrogance.
You're talking nonsense. No. You just don't like Jesus. That's the truth of the matter.
There's the arrogance. You're right. You're right. I hate Jesus.
That's not arrogance, I'm being honest.
No, it is arrogance. It is arrogance, Ken, because I've told you my position and you've completely ignored it. And that's the problem I have with these calls. We don't have a conversation. You talk at me, and if I'm going to get any point across to you, I have to resort to shouting at you and not taking a breath. It's the only way. And I don't like it, Ken. It doesn't work for me, mate. So I'm going to ask you...
All you do is mock me.
That's right. No, that's right. I'm going to ask...
You're a mocker.
Yeah,
you're a mocker.
Yeah, and you're a mod. I'm going to ask...
mocker of Jesus.
No, I'm not, Ken.
You mock Jesus.
No, I don't. You're not Jesus, Ken.
Yes, you do. That's why your life's in trouble.
Ken, there we go. There's the arrogance. Ken, I'm going to ask you, can you do a favour for me?
I'm trying to help you. I love you. I'm not against you.
Ken, can you do a favour for me?
Listen,
Ken, can you do a... Ken, could you listen? Ken, could you listen to me? That would be a start. Would you listen to me?
Will you listen to me?
If you do a favour for... Yeah, Ken, OK, Jesus loves me, thank you. Would you do a favour for me?
No, not necessarily. It depends what you're asking.
OK.
It's dirty. I've no intention.
No, I'm not going to ask you to touch my willy. What I'm going to ask you to do, Ken...
Don't get dirty.
No, Ken. What I'm going to ask you to do is really simple. He's gone. He's gone again. The favour I'm going to ask him is to never call me again. Because there's the arrogance. Oh, your life's in trouble. You mock me. You mock Jesus. I was just saying I don't mock Jesus. If I wanted to mock Jesus, that would be all right as well. But I don't particularly want to mock Jesus. I just don't like the arrogance. Your life's in trouble. You're depressed because you turned your back on Jesus, was the line the other day. And I don't want to ban anyone. There's only one person banned from calling, and we all know who she is. Everybody else is welcome to call. Even, what's-his-face and Idiot Chops. So I don't want to ban Ken. I'd like him to take voluntary redundancy as a caller to this show. That's what I'd like. The being rude there was a low blow. I'll accept that. I apologise for that. It was a low blow. But I would like him to take voluntary redundancy because I just, you've still got George that you can call, and I think you can get onto James Whale as well. I'm not that desperate for calls that we need to fill with Ken, but I don't want to turn him away. I want him to make the realisation that this is not the place for him. Maybe I will, but we'll see. It would be a bit mean banning a Christian in the run-up to Christmas, wouldn't it? That would be even by my standards. That would be a bit... that would be a little bit... Oh, man. Sorry, Ken, there's no room for you at the inn. Oh, dear. But I'm not mocking Jesus. I don't even need to justify myself. Hey! In fact, Christians love me. And I'll tell you why. I've had an email from some Christians. I'm up for an award from some Christians. Yeah, this is absolutely true. This is actually true. And I'll tell you after 11 o'clock. I've got good news for you. I'm up for a Christian award. This is absolutely true. 0344 499 1000 Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Talk Radio.
Seriously, I forgot all about this. I meant to bang on about this. I'm going to get an award from Christians because I'm a good citizen. I'll tell you all about it in a bit. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Every man has his techniques, and they're all different.
They said you're not...
Something wrong with that. Why is that distorting? Let me try this. Hang on a second.
Every man has
That's
his
better.
techniques,
That's better.
and they're all different.
They said you're not normal, why don't you sing R&B? I said I got no rhythm and I got no blues, I'm as happy as can be. They said how can you not bop to hip-hop? I said I most certainly do. Did you not see me dancing the other night like the girls on Channel U? Yeah, I can wind down low, be like the girls in the videos, but for me that's much too slow because I prefer rock and roll. I say yeah, I can wind down low, dance like the girls in the videos, but for me that's a no-no because I prefer rock and roll. They say why'd you wear a shirt and tie? Now that's a bit bizarre. I said I like to look good when I go on stage, strumming my guitar. I like to sing my songs about real life things like good times and romance, and I prefer to do it in my skinny jeans and minuscule hot pants.
Every man has his techniques,
Cause this baby got no back.
and they're all different.
Yeah, I can wind down low, be like the girls in the videos, but for me that's much too slow because I prefer rock and roll. I say yeah, I can wind down low, dance like the girls in the videos, but for me that's a no-no because I prefer rock and roll. Why can't people just let me be? I'm only putting out what comes best to me. Some people get their kicks with other things, but I get mine with one.
I think this is just going to end. Yep.
Yeah.
Just ended. There we go. That's what happens when you play a song on YouTube. You just don't know where you're going to go. So, have a listen to this. I received an email a week ago from a young lady called Tracy Byrne. Hello, Iain. I hope you're well and really happy in your new job. What a delightful way to start an email. I imagine the social life will have taken a bit of a pasting, but it does all sound a lot of fun. I've never had social life, so I'm more than happy to be working. You remember her, Catherine? Yes, you remember her? LGCM. Now, I can't remember what LGCM stands for. Lesbian and Gay Christian Movement. Oh! Has just compiled a rainbow list of people who've stuck their head above the battlements in the name of inclusion and sanity. Oh, that's interesting. I'll read on. And I'm writing to ask if you'd be happy to be included in it. What? You've been nominated as a result of that interview. You paid a very heavy price. Yeah, I got shafted by the BBC. And we owe you. We'll be publishing the list next week, and there will be a reception to celebrate at Westminster in February. Maybe an opportunity to prove that all Christians are not intolerant haters because some of them are doing extraordinary work. I know that. Maybe you'd let me know. So, look at me, Rainbow Warrior. I'm a Rainbow Warrior. I've still not had, despite losing my job at the BBC for what I did, I've still not had one gay man come on to me. Not one. Not one gay man has said, Iain, thank you for what you said and thank you for what you did. If you wanted to have a free bunk up, and I would, of course, I would look deep into his eyes, stare at him, and I'd look like I was about to say yes, and I go, I can't, but thank you for the offer. And I'd break his heart. I'd break his gay little heart. That's what I'd do. Teach him a lesson. So that's nice, isn't it? I'm looking forward to that. 0344 499 1000. I'm not anti-Christian. I'm not anti-Jesus. I don't hate Jesus. What a ridiculous thing to say. It's the arrogance of people thinking they know me and they know what I stand for, and they don't at all. So, Ken, I would like you to... He's not listening, but I would like you, Ken, to reconsider your application as being one of the callers to this show. Because... I think a lot of people find it quite boring, really. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Stephen's been waiting for, well, not that long. Good evening, Stephen.
Hi, Iain. Great to see you last Thursday. Do you remember? I popped into the studio to see James.
Oh, yes, you were helping James align his chakras.
Well, I was with a healer. Yeah, I brought a healer along. A complicated story.
I need a healer. I'm holding out for a healer till the end of the night. And he's gotta be good, and he's gotta be strong, and he's gotta be larger than life. Larger than life.
I must say, Iain, you're incredibly tall. Cause I think of myself as tall as 6'1".
Yeah, that's tiny.
6'5", are you?
I'm 6'4". I must admit, I'm when I stand near people, I go up on tiptoe a bit just to intimidate them. 6'1's nothing, Stephen. Tiny. You're a wee fella.
Like a midget.
Yeah. Very much so. Very tiny, insignificant in terms of height, I'm afraid.
And I apologise for leaving a mug in the studio that you probably...
Absolutely, yes. Don't worry. We threw it against the wall and smashed it.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Sorry, but you know how assertive you were in throwing everybody out. I said, get out. So we all.
Well, the thing is, because when it's George Galloway, right, and George sometimes has a friend. So George sometimes has a friend sitting in the studio with him who doesn't speak, which I find very odd. I'm always amazed by how different presenters work and the traditions and the habits they get into. And quite often I'll come into the studio and George would have a friend sat there reading a book. It's wonderful. I might start bringing friends in. But George, he'll put his jacket on, he'll put his hat on, he'll pick up his cups and he'll walk out, right? And he's gone. And we say, we have a little chat. How was the show, George? Enjoy, have a safe evening. He goes. Wonderful, right? James and Ash, well, Ash the other day was scrabbling around on the floor because he'd lost his Rizzler packet. James is generally drunk and is telling me some ridiculous, obscene story about one of his showbiz buddies. And I'm going, yeah, that's great, but I've got a show to do and you're ruining my vibe. So it's just a nightmare getting them out of the studio. I hate it.
I can imagine it. Well, it seemed it on that night. I saw Catherine. Hi, Catherine. Didn't get a chance to speak to you. I just said hi. But
No,
you just...
she was hiding from you. She saw you and she was like, "Whoop, I'm off." We tend not to meet the listeners, Stephen. It's never a good idea to meet the listeners.
Can I tell you, Jason Cundy gave me some prawn cock.
Prawn cock? Gave you some prawn cock? No. You said prawn cock. He said, Stephen said Jason Cundy gave you some prawn cock. Get that to the papers.
It's prawn crackers. I'm getting my words mixed up.
Don't get crackers mixed up with cock. Flipping heck. What a night that would be.
Because I saw him and he was taking orders to go round to the takeaway from the members of the staff there, you see. And I said, "Oh, hi, Jason." And he was a bit surprised how I knew him. And I said, "Well, I sometimes listen to Talk Sport as well." And,
what?
And and then when he came back, he said, "Oh, would you like these?" And he just handed them to us, me and the heater that I brought along. Yeah, so it was very nice of him. Yeah, so...
Well, good for you. It's more than I've ever got out of him. Well, actually, it's not tonight. That's not true. Tonight he was letting a lot of things out. Jeez.
Yeah. No, he spoke well of you, actually. Yeah. No, he did say. He said something about you're a nice fella. Something like that.
I'm a nice guy. Why would anyone be surprised by that, Stephen? I am a nice guy. Now, what have you called in for?
Actually, first, can I just say technical
thing? What do you mean first? You've just been on for 10 minutes, and now you're saying first. You can't go first after 10 minutes.
No, but the line went blank during your conversation with Ken, so just to let you know that there might be a technical thing on the phone.
There'll be a technical thing in your face in a minute.
Yeah, but you know the other week when you sounded like a Dalek to the callers, or something. Well, when you started talking to Ken, it went completely blank until you finished the conversation with Ken, and then it went to the news. So
my mind is going completely blank. Get to the point of the call, Stephen!
Can I just blow my...
No! No, you can't. You can't. 10 minutes into a call, when asked to get to the point, go, but first. No, but you've done your but first. And then after you've done your but first, 12 minutes into the call, say, can I just... No! That was your cue to get to the point of the call, Stephen! Bad luck. Try again next time. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Eddie, Phil, stay there. Come to you after this.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over.
Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
2 Caddicks are better than 1. It's double the pleasure. It's triple the fun. What film is that from? 2. It's not Caddicks. I don't want to say. 2 Caddicks are better than 1. It's double the pleasure. It's triple the fun. It's from I think, have I got this right? Isn't it from the film Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? And it's the scene where Napoleon is at the water park. And that's the music that's on in the background. 2 Caddicks are better than 1. It's double the pleasure. It's triple the fun. Hang on a minute. Let's have a... hang on a minute. If I've remembered that, then I'm a genius. Bill and Ted, Napoleon, water slide. Here we go. Isn't the internet incredible? Here we go. Hang on a minute. Here we go. Oh, no. That's someone going to the location where they filmed it. Why would you do that? I'm unable to find that clip of the movie. If someone could... Yeah, exactly. This is what old people's homes will be like. You go to a care home now and they're talking about the war and Doris Day and all that. And so, but you go to an old people's home in 40 years and it'll be loads of people going, what was the song that was played during the water park scene with Napoleon in Bill and Ted? And I'll be going, easy. 2 Caddicks are better than 1. It's double the pleasure. It's triple the fun. And they'll go, well, that's close, but the actual lyrics are 2 heads are better than 1. And I go, that's what I sang. And I go, no. You definitely sang 2 Caddicks are better than 1. It's double the pleasure, etc., etc. Why did you sing that? And I'll go, I don't know, but it was important once. You wait, guys. 2056. Those conversations will actually be happening. Eddie, I'll come to you in a minute. Let's go to Phil first. Good evening, Phil.
Good evening, sir.
Hello, boss. What you got for us?
Firstly, what you've just said, you've got to be more bothered about whether you wean yourself or not.
When you get to that age, Phil, I actually currently am undergoing several bladder training routines. I've got some DVDs that I watch. Davina's bladder workout, and there's another one from the girl from Geordie Shore. And it teaches you to strengthen your bladder. So when you get older, you got a tight bladder.
You don't think say the words pelvic floor anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it's meant necessarily for bladders. Actually, I think it's meant more for women that have had a baby. But I'm prepared. I am very, very tight down below, Phil. So I don't think we'll have any problems there.
Oh, I actually have something to talk to you about, and it's. Are you doing any personal appearances now? Because I'm sure you did back in the day. I don't know if you remember the conversation where we talked about how famous you were when you were doing the 11 o'clock show, and I loved everything you were doing, and then you kind of disappeared.
Yes. Dark days, very dark days.
Are you doing any personal appearances?
Where do you live, Philip? Where?
Nottingham, Leicester, Derby. I can travel.
I did a show in. Didn't I do a show in Nottingham last year? I think I did a show in Nottingham last year. Didn't I? Maybe not. Have I got? Well, I'm doing a few more Iain Lee versus radios. Oh no, I did a talk in the university. I'm doing a few more Iain Lee versus radios, but I don't quite know where.
There is a place where I'm leading to this. Years and years and years ago, I went and saw Billy Connolly.
Oh yeah,
he was the funniest man.
Yeah.
And the great thing about him was you were laughing so much you couldn't remember anything he said.
Genius. There's the genius, you see. So you can go and see him twice. You have to go and see him twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Triple the fun.
I accidentally met him the next day.
Oh.
I'm walking through town, doing my job, and he came up and asked me where there was a vegetarian or vegan restaurant or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And
excuse me, Phil! Oh, that's not Scottish. Hang on, I'm trying to do a Scottish. And it was funny. Excuse me, Phil, but can you tell me, is there a vegan restaurant around here? That's not bad.
Well, the point I'm kind of getting to is I ended up spending half an hour, 40 minutes talking to him and his friend.
That won't happen if we meet, Phil.
Well, this was where I was getting to, because
I'm very good at cutting people off short. Very good at it.
One of the things I was getting to is, if you are going to go anywhere,
yes,
I'd love to come see you. But one of the things I would love more than anything is to spend half an hour with you, where there's no talk radio, no in front of an audience, and just to talk to you, not for a selfie time thing I've made.
Selfie time?
But just to...
you're now officially sounding like a stalker.
Oh, no.
No, and that's what a stalker would say. You want to spend 30 minutes with me, no selfie time? Like a date?
No, it's like, I don't want to do a selfie with you just to put it on Facebook to go, oh, look, I've met Iain Lee, ain't he great, ain't I great?
So why do you want to meet me?
Because I think it'd be more interesting off of the radio.
No. There's your first mistake. No. Off the radio, I am dull, quiet, and introspective. You wouldn't get anything out of me.
No, I beg to differ.
No, well, you don't know. You don't know. I tell you what, Phil, you can meet me for half an hour. You can meet me... Phil, listen, I will meet you for half an hour.
Right.
For 400 quid.
Actually, I'm going to pounce on something you just said, well, not 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Maybe I ought to get someone in on my radio show.
What does that mean?
Well, you said it, so I'm putting myself up for it. If you want someone in on your radio show who listens to it...
Oh, you like George Galloway as his mate? No.
You said it, not me.
Yeah, I know, and I'm saying no.
Well, that's fair.
Why do you want to meet me? What do you think you'll get out of meeting me? Because honestly, I guarantee you, I'm dead quiet and dull off air.
I found you an interesting character, like back in the day, and I was quite made up when. I don't know how long you were on talk radio before I started listening to you.
Yes.
But you've always been interesting. You've always had something to say, and you've always been.
But that's my job. That's my job.
Intellectually sound.
I am intellectually sound. That was on. Yes, that's correct. But that's my job. That's my job is to talk. But this is performance. Me talking to you now is theatre. Me talking to you in Costa is torture.
Well,
unless you
surely
pay
that's up to me to decide.
No, it's up for me to decide.
Maybe I'd say he's really dull in real life. Maybe I wouldn't.
But why would I want to put myself in a position where you could say I'm really? But why? I don't understand. Why would I don't? What do you think you're going to get out of?
To be honest, that was probably not the right thing to say.
No, but I don't understand what you think you're going to get out of it. We're not going to be friends.
No, I'm not expecting that. No, not for 1 minute. But I'd like to know the difference between the Iain Lee on the radio, the Iain Lee on the 11 o'clock show.
Oh God, that guy! I was never that guy. I was never that guy on the 11 o'clock show. That was just me acting.
But you did it well.
Yeah, I did it. I did it brilliantly.
Billy Connolly, when I went to see Billy Connolly, he was a completely different guy that I met.
Yeah.
And I got a lot out of it.
Yeah.
I didn't.
What would I get out? What would I get out of it? I wouldn't get anything out of it.
Well, maybe you might get half an hour of good conversation. You don't know. You've got to do it first, haven't you? And then go, well,
I don't have to.
Or that wasn't.
I don't have to.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You'd either go, that was a waste of time, or maybe there's something to be had out of meeting the audience that have known me for years and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You could get something out of it. I could get something out of it. It could be a waste of time for both of us.
It could be, and I my time. I don't like wasting my time, so I'm going to pass.
To me, it's like someone who won't eat foreign food, who won't eat some British guy won't eat that foreign malt.
You're comparing me not hanging out with you for half an hour as the same as not trying sushi.
No. Wait for me to finish.
See, we're not even getting on now, and we're not even in the same place.
To be honest, this is quite an amusing conversation for me.
It's quite uncomfortable for me.
Well, I find that a bit sad. But, it kind of goes the way it does, doesn't it?
Thanks for calling, Phil.
Cheers.
Let me play you something. That when I was listening to that really reminded me of a really awkward interview with Bob Dylan. Can I just play you this for a couple of minutes?
Don't worry about it, no. I was lucky, man. Weren't you?
I think I've got very few friends
lucky
now.
when you didn't have any friends?
I can't remember not having any friends.
Huh?
Million friends.
Now, do you have a lot of friends now?
No, because I reached a stage when I suddenly realised what a friend was, and then I probably had one or two. Before that, I didn't understand what a friend was anyway.
Did you talk to your friends?
I didn't know who they were then.
Well, now you're friends.
So I
talk
talked
to your
them.
friends.
Yeah. There are one or two people who I believe I can talk to.
And that's why you're your friend. They're your friends because you can talk to them.
I think a friend is a friend because
communicate with them.
To a certain extent, they can understand me more than anybody else.
Oh, well, we differ. We come from two different worlds. You come from England, I come from the United States.
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, we're still human beings, so there's some sort of connection between us.
No, I'm just a guitar player. That's all.
Man, you're trying to knock me.
Believe me, I never tried to do that.
I mean, when somebody comes in to interview you, normally, what's your attitude?
Oh, you just read those interviews that were a couple of the first few days I was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, those weren't right. You know that, right? You know that there was all lies, lies and rubbish. You know that.
The first few lines, I didn't read much more. Why I came here, I don't know. Being regaled with all this.
Are you going to the concert?
Yeah, I'm going to watch. I mean, this is what I came to see mostly.
Okay, just listen.
I came to see you, but I thought I'd like to have a word with you first.
Here we go.
I mean, what is your whole attitude to life? And when you meet somebody, what is your attitude towards them?
I don't like them.
You don't?
No.
I mean, if I come in here, what's your attitude towards me?
No, I haven't got an attitude towards you at all. Why should I have an attitude towards you? I don't even know you.
No, but I mean, and it'd be an attitude if you wanted to know me or didn't want to know me.
Well, why should I want to know you?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
Well, I don't know. Ask me another question. Just give me a reason why I should want to know you.
Here we go.
I might be worth knowing.
Why?
Huh?
Why? Tell me why. What good is it going to be for me to know you? Tell me. Name me one thing I'm going to gain.
Well, you might learn something from my attitude to life.
Well, what is your attitude to life?
Huh? I can't explain that in 2 minutes.
Well, what are you asking me to explain in 2 minutes? That's all you're getting is 2 minutes. You're asking me to explain something in 2 minutes, too.
But you're the artist. You're supposed to be able to explain it in 2 minutes.
I am?
Yeah.
Hey, wow. What about you? Aren't you an artist?
Oh, no.
What are you?
No. What
are
I'm
you?
a science student.
Well, let's hear it again. What are you? A what student?
A science student.
Now, what does that mean? Now, just what does that mean? What does that mean? What do you do? What's your purpose in the world?
What's my purpose?
Yeah.
What's my purpose?
How do you help, what do you do in the world?
Well,
Very similar there. I just felt, like, just popped in my head as I was talking to... I couldn't... What? I don't know. I felt uncomfortable in that conversation. How did you feel? How did it make you feel? I don't like meeting up with my friends. So meeting up with, honestly, in real life, I'm like 10% of this. This is theatre. This is a show, and it's not going to happen. 0344 499 1000. Late nights with Iain Lee. Eddie, Dennis, stay there. Come to you after this.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
No. Let's go to Dennis first, because you never know. He's not got much time left. Dennis.
Good evening.
Good evening, Dennis. Are there any songs?
What about your bladder training?
What about my bladder training?
Well, the best way to train it is have a catheter fitted now.
Oh.
Right, let it flow free, I should say.
Let your love fly.
Slowly withdraw it, so that you...
What?
Yeah, now I had this, unfortunately, I have to have water tablets as well.
God, why?
Make me pee.
This is not erotic.
No, it makes me pee, because
I pee freely.
In my legs, so they make me pee, so my legs get
Waterworks of the World by I Pee Freely.
So
do you remember those jokes where it was the title of a book and then the name of the author was like a joke, like Waterworks of the World by I Pee Freely?
Yeah.
Can you remember any others? They used to be they were never funny, but there used to be loads of them.
I don't go back that far.
A medical look at the male member by Ivor Biggin. There you go. That's a good one.
That's a good one, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I could do a rude one.
It's your show.
Rude Cooking by Fanny Batter. Yeah, that's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's all right. What else are there? Kath's disappeared. Kath's vanished. Where's she gone? She's fallen off her chair.
Laughing.
I don't think it's laughing. I think it's her realising that maybe we're going to get the sack. You're right. Bit of snot came out.
You can always come back this way.
Sorry? No, that's not. Hey, I'm meeting Justin tomorrow for lunch.
Good.
Yeah. What did you call in for, Dennis? Talk about your catheter?
No, you were talking about bladder training. Well, I had to train mine 2 years ago in hospital because I had unlimited. What happened? There was unlimited peers went in the first day.
I know. I said people could call in and talk about anything.
The second day, my stomach was so hard and I couldn't pee at all. They had to put a catheter in, and it flowed freely. But then I have to take it out. I wasn't going to wear it for the rest of my life.
No.
So I trained myself to stop peeing, and then in the end I took the thing out and I was all right.
That's such a great story. It really is heartwarming.
Oh, no, just finish.
No, please.
I went in hospital then on bonfire night this year.
Yes.
And I woke up and they put two things sticking my arm so they could pump stuff into my brain without giving me the needle. And my feet were fat with water.
Oh, fat feet.
They stuck the needle in, and they put into my bloodstream
This is horrible.
Same stuff that I have to take every day, but it goes through my stomach.
Yes.
And overnight, the water dropped away.
Oh, isn't that great?
So you have this, but other than that, no.
How can you get water in your feet?
Well, because I risk my feet swell with water.
Water goes into... How can water get into your feet?
Feeds into your bloodstream, doesn't it?
Oh, does it? Right, OK. So
very watery blood.
Watery blood. OK.
But you have to have pressure stockings now on it. In the right manner.
Oh, here's a good one. Thank you, Jez. Tiger Attack by Claude to Bits. Claude to Bits. That's quite a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, very good.
They used to get those. Here we go. Parachute jumping. Here we go. Parachute jumping by Willie Make It and Betty Won't. This is brilliant. And Adam says colonoscopy for beginners by Brian Fingerton. No, that doesn't really work. That's disgusting, Adam. Delete your account. So, how's your watery blood now?
Well, I have these tablets every day, and I've got these bloody stockings on. Compress my legs.
I'm not asking what your sex life is like. Oh, speaking of which, Impotence Matters.
Yes.
By Drew Peacock. Drew Peacock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, it's good. That's Kath came up with that one.
You're getting very good. Kath came up. Now listen.
Yes.
People saying you're not nice. I remember when.
Hang on, who's saying that? Who said that? Who said I'm not? Who have you been talking to? Who says I'm not nice?
You said you're different in daily life than you are on the stage.
I'm still nice.
Well, anyway, when I went to that place in Luton at the library,
the lap dancing club,
craftily brought me right in the bloody middle of the front seat.
Yes.
He come bouncing on the stage. Oh, it's Dennis. And he came over.
Yeah.
Gave me a hug, and I said, look, there's going to be any kissing, no tongues.
Yep.
You bounce back again.
Yes.
You're a nice bloke, and I don't care what bloody time of day you see.
Okay.
Don't care what they say.
You're rambling.
Very nice fella, and I hope you have a very nice Christmas. I hope the kids drive you bloody wild, which they will do.
Yes.
And I hope you have a very happy New Year, prosperous one, honestly. I can't say any more than that. I like it. I'm not a friend as a friend, but I'm an associate.
I get the feeling this is going to be Dennis's last call. He's going to put the phone down. A smile is going to come up on his face. He's going to sit back in his chair
and say, "I've done it."
And then he say, "I've done it." And then he'll say, "I've done it."
Oh. And then I'll get the dirty book out and start reading.
Oh, go away, you horrible man! Deary me, outrageous. 0344 499 1000. Eddie is the last call we have on the switchboard, so now will be an excellent time to call up. Eddie!
Hello there, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you, Eddie. What have you got for us?
First time caller, first time listener.
First time listener?
Exactly.
Well, hang on a second. We have to do some digging here, Eddie. How come you're listening for the first time this evening? What's changed in your circumstances that you've stumbled across this show?
I'm not a baby myself. In a word.
So you just how did you? Have you listened to Talk Radio before?
I've listened to Talk Radio before, but not yourself.
Oh, so who do you listen to on Talk Radio?
Oh, it depends what time of the day it is, to be blunt.
Yeah, well, that would make a difference.
It does, yeah. It's whatever's on in the car, basically.
Okay, all right. Well, you've found me, which is great. I'm the best show on the radio. What would you normally be listening to at this time of night?
I'd actually be on air this time of the night.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm with another independent radio.
Oh, it's a jock. We got a jock online, guys.
So yeah, me and Helen Sims do it.
Okay.
But we took a little bit of time off.
You got sacked.
Helen just wrote a book.
Oh.
But that's not what I'm ringing for.
Okay.
But she is listening, by the way.
What's Helen's book?
Helen's book is called Taking Steps. It's like
Taking Steps. Hang on a minute. Let me work this out. Taking Steps by who?
Helen Sims.
No, that doesn't work. Hang on, I can do a better one than that. Taking Steps by walking. Hang on a minute. Just be quiet, everyone. Eddie, Kath, everyone, be quiet just for a second. Hang on. Taking Steps by oh, I got one. Taking Steps by Tony Hawks. It doesn't work. I can't do it. Phil Walker. Yeah, Phil Walker will do. Phil Walker. Tony Walker. I want toe in there, knee. Tony by Taking Steps by Taking. Oh, come on, Twitter. Someone do something. Breakfast Cuisine by Crispy Bacon. Taking Steps by Alistair Walker. Is that what she's called?
No.
Okay, well, that's a shame. All right. Anyway, Eddie, go on.
So, yeah, well, basically, as I say, I was talking to her earlier this evening, a gentleman came on your radio station, so I thought I'd ring in and just point out to him that it's not all roses at Christmas. You had a Bible basher on earlier this evening. And to put it nicely, there is people out there that have lost family members at this time of the year and, are going through hell at the moment, thanks to this government. So while, at the end of the day, for those that are Catholic, it's all fine and good and rosy and whatnot, just spare a thought for those that ain't having it all fine and rosy.
But what about the Catholics that have lost someone?
Exactly, same thing, that's what I'm saying. Spare a thought for those that are going through what isn't, a sweetness and light, as we will say.
Why?
Because at the end of the day, it's not that easy this time of the year for some people.
Right, but why should I spare a thought for them?
Because at the end of the day, let's be blunt, that's what Christmas is about, isn't it? Let's be blunt.
What, just sparing a thought for them?
Well, obviously, you can't help everybody in the world. It'd be nice if you could, but you can't. But even just...
If I was homeless, just to think, I may be homeless and cold, but I know someone's sparing a thought for me.
Well, no, the point I'm making is, using your own scenario, if you see somebody homeless, buy them a coffee. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is, well, exactly, because it shows that somebody actually cares out there.
Well...
when
did you last buy a homeless a coffee?
Actually, about 3 days ago.
Right, well, why should I do it?
Because at the end of the day, thanks to this government, there's a hell of a lot more homeless than what normally is.
So I should buy a homeless person a coffee because of Theresa May?
No, you should buy a homeless person for a coffee because at the end of the day, they're struggling with demons that you're not struggling with.
Well, what demons are they struggling with?
Well, there's loads of reasons for being homeless.
Well, but you seem, but they're not, and they're not all struggling with demons.
So you're telling me living on the street isn't a demon? Not having enough money to put a roof over your head isn't a demon? Not having enough houses in this country.
we don't, well, no, it's not a demon, because we don't use the phrase demons to talk about not having enough money. That's never good. Demons has a connotation and a meaning, and I think you know that. And one of the meanings of demons isn't, I've got no money. That's not a demon.
Well, no, you've got people that are on the street because they've left properties with drug abuse.
Right.
You've got kids on the street nowadays that have left the homes because of abuse.
And how many are you putting up over Christmas?
Me? None.
Oh.
Because I don't have the room, or I would.
Oh. I'm sure one would be happy just in a sleeping bag on the floor.
Well, actually, I've got my family sleeping here on the floor at the minute.
So hang on a second. So Christmas is about family?
Christmas is, no, not just family. That's the point I think a lot of people are missing. Christmas is about family.
But why? But you've only got family sleeping in your house.
Because there's no room.
You could, come on, you could find room for a homeless person. They could sleep in the bath.
The point is, and this is, I don't have a barn, it'd be nice if we did, but I don't. The point is, at the end of the day, and this is what I'm getting at.
Please stop saying at the end of the day.
There's a lot of people going through a hell of a lot of stuff in this country.
Right.
And I just think people need to just take a step back from this, oh, it's great, it's wonderful. Just take a little step back.
No.
See if you can help anyone.
No, you're wrong.
I disagree.
I know you do. I know you do. But I'll tell you exactly. Sorry?
You tell me why I'm wrong.
I'll tell you exactly why you're wrong. You're saying that people shouldn't have a good time at Christmas.
No, I'm not saying that.
You just said that. You just said that everyone's. You've just said everyone's having a good time at Christmas and they should stop and think. I'm not going to. On Christmas Day, I'm not going to. I'm going to have a good time with my kids, and the whole day is going to be about my kids.
Yeah, that's you individually.
Yeah, the whole day, Christmas Day, is going to be about the magic I create for my children.
Exactly. You did it earlier. To children. There's adults out there that are going through hell at the minute.
Well, right.
You're going to say that's their problem?
No, I'm not. But what I'm going to say is, on Christmas Day, I am going to spend the whole day creating...
I'm not saying Christmas Day. I'm saying...
You're talking about Christmas, and Christmas is Christmas Day. So...
no, it isn't. It's Christmas Eve.
Right.
It's before Christmas.
Do you listen, Eddie?
After Christmas.
Is Helen your co-presenter?
She is.
Do you listen to Helen?
I do.
Because there's not a lot of listening going on here.
Because all you're going on about at the moment is Christmas Day.
There's not a lot of listening going on here, Eddie.
Please, go ahead.
Okay. I feel sorry for Helen.
Go ahead.
On Christmas Day, I am going to be thinking only about my kids and the magic I can create for them. And I'll think about my sister who's abroad. And I'll think about my dad who's not with us, and that'll be it. That'll be it. Oh, you're doing the thing of extending a silence after someone said you don't listen. You're doing the thing of extending a silence after someone's obviously finished because they've just said you don't listen.
No, I'm giving you the opportunity to finish.
I'd finished, and you knew I'd finished. You were doing that thing. Right. You were doing that thing that people who don't. You're doing that thing that people who don't listen do when they're told they don't listen.
No, I'm giving you the opportunity to finish.
And you knew I'd finished, Eddie.
Well, I'll now respond. I'm not saying just on Christmas Day. I'm talking over the Christmas period.
I don't understand why you keep bringing the government into it.
Well, you look at benefit sections. Look how many people are unemployed now. Look how many people have benefit sanctions.
But you're politicising it.
Well, it's factual. It's not political, it's factual.
Well, so there weren't homeless people when Labour were in power?
I'm not saying there was homeless. There's a hell of a lot more now.
Well, how many more now than when Labour were in power?
A hell of a lot more.
How many? Give me figures. You obviously know, so tell me the figures.
Give me 10 minutes, I'll
you've said there are a hell of a lot more people who are homeless now than there were under the Labour government. So you obviously know that as a fact. So give me the stats.
There is at least, I would say, without getting the facts in front of you, the exact...
Don't give me a guess. I don't want a guess or an estimate.
That's fine. I'll get the facts. I'll ring you back in about 10 minutes.
No, I don't want to talk to you in 10 minutes. I want you've said it, so you obviously know it.
At the end of the day...
Now, please don't keep saying at the end of the day.
Well, I will repeat what you say, because you don't have the facts either in front of you.
No, I don't, but I'm not the one making claims based on conjecture. You are.
Well, I'm not. At the end, it's proven beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Where from? Where did you get this information from?
Try looking on the internet.
No, I don't want to. You tell me. You're the one that's using the information.
It's all over the internet. It's all over the news.
It's all over the internet. Well, it's not over my internet, and it wasn't over the news at 11 o'clock.
But maybe at the end of the day, in fairness, you're not looking in the right places.
So it's my fault that you don't have the data to back up your claims.
No, I didn't say that. I wasn't asked to have the data available.
Well, no, but you've brought up the point that there are more homeless people now than there were under the Labour government. Well, how many more? 10 more? 100 more? 10 times?
You brought the Labour government into
it. Yeah, because no, Eddie, you did.
No, I didn't. You did.
No, you did, because you said it's worse. You said it's worse now than it was before. So why is it? Yeah, but you don't know that.
I do.
How?
Because, as I said, look at the news. You've got people getting sanctioned for turning up 5 minutes late to an appointment, for crying out loud.
That doesn't. You don't get that on the news. That story
Yes,
doesn't.
you do.
No, you don't. You do not, Eddie. Eddie, you do not get a story on the news that someone turned up 5 minutes late for an appointment and didn't get their benefits. That doesn't happen on the news.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'll disregard it. There is 40. Howard just messaged me actually. Homelessness is up 40%.
Beautiful. Here we go. We've got some stats, right? Since when?
Homelessness is up 40%.
Since when?
Since this government came into power.
So now, since the Conservative government or the coalition?
The Conservative government.
So 40% up since the coalition.
That's correct. No, since the Conservatives took over on their own.
Well, yeah. So 40% up since the Conservatives took over the coalition homeless figures.
That's correct.
Right. Okay. So we still don't know how many homeless there were under a Labour government.
No, but the point is, as I said to you at the start of this, you brought the word Labour into it, not me.
You said it was worse than it's the worst it's ever been.
Well, there was a coalition after the Labour government.
I know, I remember. But you said it's the worst it's ever been. We still haven't got to the heart of the matter. Eddie, I'm going to have a wonderful Christmas with my family.
I'm not saying you don't. All I'm saying to everybody out there, at the end of the day, please spare the thought for those that don't.
But what does a thought do? Why are you trying to make people feel guilty?
I'm not making anybody feel guilty.
Well, you are, because I'll be there with my Christmas. I'll be there with my Christmas dinner. I'll go. Oh no, Eddie. Oh, I can't enjoy this. There are homeless people out there, and Eddie's told me to spare a thought for them. Bugger.
A thought costs nothing.
What does that mean?
Pay for it like you did with that. What I said, a thought costs nothing unless you won't pay like you did with that guy earlier.
Well, what? Hang on a minute.
When you said you wanted 400 quid off it, but comes meet you for 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you do nothing without getting paid?
Sorry?
You do nothing without getting paid?
What? Well, no, why would I meet? I get paid. Sorry?
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty now. As you brought this up, well, let's get down to it.
I'm happy to, Eddie. I'm happy to go then, mate, because I've got both hands tied behind my back. I might ask Kath to untie one of them. I get paid for my time, Eddie. So why would I want to spend 30 minutes with a stranger who made me feel slightly uncomfortable? Why would I want to do that for free?
Well, again, I'm not saying you had to. I'm just saying it says here. I've got it on here. It's on the Independent.
Yeah, I get paid for my Eddie. Let's focus on one. You're all over the place, Eddie. I get paid for my time. You can't deny that, can you? I get paid for my time.
Well, no, everybody gets you exactly.
Right. So if
the point is, the gentleman wasn't ringing in to hire you.
No, and I didn't, and he didn't seem to understand that I would not want to meet him for half an hour.
Well, again, all you've got to say to the gentleman is sorry, thank you, but no thank you.
No. I don't have to, Eddie. Eddie, I don't have to do anything that you tell me to do. This is what the point I'm trying to get at. I don't have to do anything. I handled that situation perfectly for me. You would have handled it differently. I didn't want to meet him, but in my head I did the maths that I would meet him. Well, I would meet him for half an hour for 250 quid. You start high and you haggle, of course. He didn't want to haggle. For him, a financial transaction was out of the question. That was absolutely fine. I would only meet him for half an hour if it were a paid gig.
Yeah, that's fine. That's your personal choice.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and that's fine.
You know, but as I said, going back to the point I originally ran in for, which is the point I'm going to reiterate, is at the end of the day,
please stop saying it
costs nothing. If you want to charge people for that thought, then maybe you're not the person that people think you are.
What do you mean charge people for it? Now, I never said anything about charging people for thoughts.
You said, why should I?
No, I never said anything. Eddie, now you're making stuff up. I never said anything about charging people for thoughts.
Oh, because you couldn't. The point I'm making...
No, I know you couldn't charge people for thoughts. So why have you just accused me? Eddie, why have you just accused me of saying I came up with the concept of charging people for thoughts?
Because from where I'm sitting, the way you handled that previous call, it seems to be that you're very money related. But
No, not at all. So you've extrapolated from that I want to charge people for their thoughts. Wow.
No, I didn't extrapolate from that.
You just said that I want to charge people for their thoughts.
You weren't really interested.
I wasn't interested in meeting him unless he paid me. No, that's correct. But I do sometimes meet people for free, but people that I want to meet.
As I said, going back to what I said earlier, at the end of the day, just spare a thought for somebody because they may not be having as fun time as you are.
Well, thanks for that, Eddie. That's really useful advice.
I'll probably ring in again at some point.
You probably will.
Okay. Have a good Christmas yourself and all those that's listening.
Bye-bye, Eddie. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to call, give us a call and put a downer on everyone's Christmas, you're more than welcome to. I was just getting warmed up then. I was just starting to get warmed up then. That was fun. It's a phone-in show where you can call in about absolutely anything. The switchboard is clear for the first time this evening. We've had loads of phone calls. We have another hour of this nonsense to go. So, why don't you give us a call? 0344 499 1000. You can watch the show by going to facebook.com/Iain Lee, IAIN, LEE. And don't forget. Podcasts are plenty, guys. If you go to, you can get them on your usual podcast provider, on Pocket Cast and all those kind of things. If you get them from iTunes, and I know lots of you hate iTunes for some reason, I don't quite know why, but lots of you hate iTunes. But if you do use iTunes, then please leave a review. And hang on a second, is it Stephen? No, he's gone. He's gone. It was weird. Stephen just called in again. If you go to iTunes, then Tony says this has to be the most pointless discussion in history. I would agree with you, yeah. If you do get us on iTunes, let me get this out. Stop interrupting me by texting and things. Your reviews and your little 4 or 5 stars, no, 3 or 2 or 1, 4 or 5 stars, they all help. They all help kind of get us up the chart. The iTunes chart is based on new subscriptions and reviews and ratings. So if you can review us or rate us, it just takes 2 minutes, guys. I mean, what is your problem? We give you this stuff for free. And your problem, you can't even be bothered to rate us and review us. Oh, please. Come on. It does help. So thank you very much for everybody who's done that. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to email the show, you can do by going to talkradio.co.uk. You can go there, you can email the show, and also if you go to the schedule, you can listen to previous shows. So if you've missed a previous show, go there, and then on the right-hand side there's like schedule, radio schedule, something like that, and you pick a day and you pick my show and you can listen to it again. So that's all good news, isn't it, guys? Late Nights with Iain Lee. It's a phone-in show unlike any other phone-in show in the country. It's only here on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
A radio star is born.
You're going to love
Talk Radio. Talk Radio.
Lots of suggestions, but the winner is, from Barry, Taking Steps by Miss D. Bus. Miss D. Bus. That's a good one, isn't it? I mean, they're all rubbish, really. Lindsay, Richard, come to you after the news.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Something we all need. We were born to love.
That is a tune, by the way, guys. That voice. That voice. Oh, Dolenz, the best white pop, the best white soul voice around. Mickey Dolenz, flippin' What a voice. And he don't sound that much different now. At the age of 72, he still sings it all in the same key. And he can still wail. I've started the clear out of Toot. And I've started big but small. Physically small, mentally big. Right? And I've got the Monkeys episodes all on Blu-ray that just came out. Nice Blu-ray box, right? And before that, I had them... Oh, yes, please, Ed, I'd love a cup of tea. Before that, I had them in two box of DVDs, and it's beautiful, beautiful box. I mustn't describe it too much because I'll want to keep it. Beautiful box. You open it, and it's like little records in there. And I saw them on my shelf taking up space. I thought, I'm going to give them away. And so I went on a Facebook page and said, I've got these. First person that sends me an email that lives in the UK can have them. And I've got to post them to some bloke called Dave. That's what the box is for. Giving them away. And then I found another thing that I had that's this weird sort of video. And I'm going to put that in the box as well and send that to him. Just starting the clear out. That book arrived today. By Miyako Hideaway, how to declutter your house and stuff. I've got that. It's more clutter, isn't it? It's more clutter. And genuinely, I've said to my family, please don't get me any Christmas presents this year, because I just don't want stuff. But I know they'll get me presents. Here we go. Here's a good one. Shopping, you've got to think about this one. Shopping in Australia by Emma Chiswick. Emma Chiswick. That's good. That's a good one, Al. That's a good one. I like that. 03. Oh, now I've described those DVDs. I want them. No, I don't. I don't want them. I don't need them. They are beautiful, though. 03. And that. Therein lies the addiction. I can get rid of those, and it buys me about 6 inches by 6 inches. It buys me on the shelf. There we go. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee. It's a late night phoning show, unlike any other late night phoning show in the world, in as much as, while we're aware that there horrible things have happened in the last 36 hours, we're aware of those. And if anything major were to happen, we would, of course, inform you. But we really consider this show to be an alternative to all of the shows that are on right now that are shouting at you and are scaring you and are telling you who you should hate and stirring the pot. We could do that. It would be easy. It would be too easy. So we, and I say we, I mean me and Catherine, the producer, we are making things difficult for ourselves by trying to be an alternative to those things. It's a mean world, right? There's a lot of mean broadcasters. Katie Hopkins, a name I don't say too often because I don't like... I don't like giving her publicity, and B, I'm worried if I say it enough, it will be like Beetlejuice and she'll appear in front of me. But she wrote an incredibly racist and libelous article in the Daily Mail about a family. And the Daily Mail has had to pay a six-figure sum to this family, and Katie Hopkins had to issue an apology that she, of course, tweeted at 2:00 in the morning, and everybody picked up on. And then she's kind of today has been tweeting combative sort of stuff about how she will not be silenced. And people saying, we love you, Katie, you speak the truth. But it's funny, even some of the right-wing broadcasters are now starting to distance themselves from her, which is fascinating. Where was I why did I invoke her name? Where was I going with that? I can't remember. I had a point, and I went down too many tangents, and I've forgotten the point. But. No, I can't remember it. I'll make up a new one and pretend it was that. But she is an example of these people peddling hatred, and it's not all of the broadcasters, okay, but there are enough of them, and they peddle different levels of hatred. I mean, Nick Ferrari, I think, is a great broadcaster, one of the best, but he does stir the pot quite a bit, just on the right side, but he does stir the pot. And it's the ones that promote the hatred that get the most attention. They seem to shout The Loudest, and there are a few other little shows and podcasts and things like that. It's just, and that bile has also spread online and on Twitter. Twitter really is a vile place. My sister tweeted me saying, there was this tweet. It was hang on a second, because I was just saying I was a bit unhappy with Twitter, and she sent me a message. A writer I like, get this is my sister sent me this. A writer I like got trolled on Twitter today about his brother's suicide. Imagine. It's, what have we become? And we have become this. It's not that shocking. We have allowed this to happen. There are broadcasters slagging off Brendan Cox. Do you know Joe Cox's husband? They are slagging him off. Or because he picked up Nigel Farage on something he said about the murders in Germany. Brendan said something like, be careful, Nigel. Making political points about murders, that's a slippery slope. And then Farage was on the aforementioned Nick Ferrari show and slagged off Brendan Cox, saying he was a terrorist sympathiser because he supports, is it the White Helmets? Saying he was at Hope Not Hate, who are a terrorist organisation. This is Farage. Thank you, Ed. Rightfully, Hope Not Hate are threatening to sue. Good for you guys. The gall of the man to be on a radio show and slag off Brendan Cox. I'm just trying to... surely you just go, well, yeah, I can totally understand where Mr. Cox is coming from, and I have every sympathy for him, and I don't really wish to comment on it. But no, name-calling, pointing the finger. He's 5 days away from him and his kid's first Christmas without that woman. Without that woman who, when she was getting shot and stabbed, told her friends to step back so that he didn't get them. And we're having a go at her husband. It's nuts, man. It's nuts. What have we become, guys? What have we become? We've become insane. We can say anything we want to say now and not worry about the consequences. A broadcaster, in inverted commas, retweeted this. It's really horrible. From a chap called James Dellingpole. It's not the most horrible thing I've read online today. When are we allowed to say that Brendan Cox is a total arse? Oh, my God. What? The fella whose wife was murdered 5-6 months ago. The fella who's got to guide his 2 children through their first Christmas without their mum. You're not allowed to. Common decency says you're not allowed to. Not in a public forum. I mean, if you want to do it privately with your mates, then I suppose that's something, but in a public forum? And then to have that retweeted by a broadcaster who sent me a message this week, that starts off with, "Hey, depressed boy." But we can say anything we want these days. It doesn't matter. There are no consequences. People in the public eye can promote these views and these thoughts without any consequences. And we wonder why Joe Cox was murdered. You know? It's exactly because of this kind of stuff being freely passed around, being freely broadcast. And by broadcast, I mean on radio, in podcasts, online. What have we become? We've become awful, awful people. Is that what being British means? Is that what being English means? Is that what being a human means? No, we're better than that. And all I can see in the future is just bleakness, where you're not going to stop my free speech. Political correctness can go and get knotted. I'm going to say what I think, even if it's about a man whose wife was brutally murdered. What have we become? Awful. Awful. James Dellingpole. Awful. The people that retweeted that because they meant it. Awful. What's that fella doing now? What's Brendan Cox doing now? Right now, right this second. Imagine how he's feeling right now. He might be wrapping the kids' Christmas presents. Imagine. Him and his wife would probably do that together. He's doing it on his own. And James Dellingpole is saying, when are we allowed to say that Brendan Cox is a total arse? You're not. You're not. Common decency says you're not. 0344 499 1000. Lindsay, Richard, come to you after this.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
It's outrageous, isn't it? 0344 499 1000. Let's crack on with these phone calls. Lindsay, good evening, Lindsay.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm fine. I've kept you waiting. You're a new caller and I've kept you waiting for 22 minutes. I do apologise, Lindsay. I'm all yours. I'm all yours.
Ooh.
Oh.
Well, I had 1 point,
yeah,
and then I've ended up now with lots of points. I guess,
good.
Not 9.
Not 9. I love the way that's become the default figure for someone who's an arse. You chuck them at me as they come, Lindsay. Let's see what we come up with.
Okay, so I was just, because I've not gone to yet because my husband's got that really bad cold and cough that's just driving me mental.
Can't you make him sleep on the sofa?
He's too big. He's too long. I can't.
Tough.
Well, yeah, that's
tough. Yeah, he should do the gentlemanly thing and say, "I'm sorry, Lindsay." That's him with a cold. I'm not saying he's thick or anything. I'm sorry, Lindsay. I've got a terrible cold. I'm going to keep you awake all night. You go up to bed, love, and I'll sleep on the sofa. Don't you worry about me.
Yeah.
He's not like that.
No. Well, he could be a bit pushed, but nah. Anyway, so I'm sat watching telly, and I'm a bit like you. I watched this Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, he's on tomorrow night. Adam Nimoy, Leonard Nimoy's son, is on the show tomorrow night at 10 o'clock because to talk about For the Love of Spock. Did you like it?
Yeah, I loved it. I do like my sci-fi and I like my stuff, and I like sort of documentaries that maybe not everybody's seen. Yeah. Kind of like that. So anyway, but there's not a lot else on there that I haven't watched. So I've gone onto YouTube and I found an Extraordinary People documentary. It's called The Family That Walks on All Fours.
I'm going to ask a really stupid question.
Yeah.
What's it about?
That.
Why?
They actually walk on all fours.
What? Is this out of choice or disability?
Well, you see, this is it. It's obviously it's disability, but I'm halfway through it.
Oh.
There's people who live in Turkey. There's some scientists that think it's like a throwback to, when we evolved, and then there's half the other scientists saying, oh, no, it's a disability, and then they've got this balance issue. But it's very interesting. So anyway, you should probably watch it. I
might have a little look at that. I do. I like documentaries.
Yeah,
I tell you the thing I liked about the Leonard Nimoy one, right, is that there's like 3 stories in it. There's the story of Spock, and then there's the story of Leonard Nimoy, and him becoming. It's weird to think that he was a heartthrob in the 60s, and was a big star.
Well, apparently, yeah.
But the thing I really liked was the and I wish there'd been a little bit more of it. The relationship between him and Adam, that was obviously very, very difficult.
Yeah, I thought so. Because it's interesting to see that side of it, isn't it? That side of sort of...
And didn't his son... Doesn't his son half look like him?
Yeah, ridiculous.
Incredible.
And then the bit where his son was when he was little, he was there, and they'd done the ears, and he came onto the set.
Oh, you're right. There's a brilliant bit, and it's an outtake, and it's really bad quality. But there's Spock it's so good. Spock is sat in the captain's chair, and he says something like, "Get me the data." And the doors open, and he doesn't see it 'cause it's behind him, and it's Adam, who we've got on tomorrow. He must be about 7. Walks on in full Star Trek uniform with the ears, and the whole crew bursts into laughter. And he walks up to his dad and hands him this thing. And it's just such a wonderful moment.
Oh, you're spitting image, isn't he?
It really, really is. They didn't mention, you like your sci-fi, they didn't mention Fringe in it.
Who?
Oh, Lindsay, sorry, I thought you said you liked your sci-fi.
No, I do.
Fringe.
I missed...
Have you not seen Fringe?
Yes, the Fringe, yes, because he was in that, wasn't he? Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
All right.
Sorry.
All right,
yes,
fine. Okay, good.
I'll take it back.
Yes, go on.
Yeah. But also, what I want to say, because I have been listening for a long, long time, but I never, well, obviously never found, because it's the first time. But when you want about those things under the crossings...
Oh, yeah, the nodules.
Things that move.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I found that out years ago. Yeah. But now I'm a deaf-blind communicator guide.
What does that mean exactly, a deaf-blind communicator guide? It rhymes, which is good, but what does it mean?
It's good, isn't it? Well, I communicate with people who are deaf-blind.
Okay.
And support them in the community. But yeah, but some people don't know about them still, and it's amazing how some people don't know that these things...
Oh, I love pointing it out to people. I love it.
So do I.
And once you see them, you can't not see them. They're everywhere.
And you can't not have a little feel either.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How do you communicate with deaf-blind people? Is it on the hand? Are you communicating via the hand? How do you do it? Have you got a series of taps?
Finger spelling.
Oh, and you spell out the words.
Yeah, but then there are some people who have their own little ways, or you just sort of tap twice on the palm and that's yes, or you rub either side, that's no. Yeah. And obviously lots of people have their own, how they want to be.
Isn't that a lovely way of communicating? It's a very intimate way of communicating because of the touch.
Yes.
And the palms of the hands are very intimate things.
Yeah, and you do it so quick.
Yeah.
It is amazing how, how it's done, really. But
I bet it is. Go on.
I'm not great at
place names.
Talking. Or the Fringe, apparently. But I'm good at receiving, so I communicate with people who actually can talk, even though they're deaf and blind.
You're a taker. You're a taker, not a giver.
I'm a top, not a bottom.
There we go.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. But I'm really glad I phoned in, and I just wanted to say that I absolutely really look forward to. I'm a podcast listener, so.
Oh, Lindsay, I've just been sent I've been sent the most horrific text.
Okay, good. Right.
Do I read it out?
Well, I don't know.
It's really horrible.
Okay.
I'm going to read it. Talking about Brendan Cox. This is from Richard in the Glens.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
That's horrible. That made me feel really quite sick.
Well, you listen to this. This is cold. Yeah. This is cold. Can we get the text? How do I get the text history from this? What do I touch to see what you can? There's a way of seeing what other text they've sent. This is horrible. I'm going to read this out. Mm-hmm. Brendan Cox was a house husband who did the school run, etc., while his wife Jo. Remember this poor girl was murdered 5 or 6 months ago, and this family are about to have their first Christmas there. While his wife Jo was very career motivated and was the breadwinner. I don't think he ever saw much of her. Business as usual for him. It gets worse. Hardly loves young dream, so get a grip and stop all the dramatics. From Richard from the Glens.
Oh, that's disgusting. How dare he say anything like that? How dare he? Oh, I've got no other words.
His other thing, his previous tweet was to send me an obscene text. Sorry, his previous tweet was to send me an obscene book title text. Phil McCracken by Strap a Dick to Me.
Oh, nice. Classy.
Richard, and there's a couple of other things laughing at mental health and stuff, and then there's some to James and Ash. Richard, I don't think the show's for you. Mate, I really don't think the show is for you, because that's such a cold, unpleasant message to send. That either call in and defend it, or just switch off your radio, Richard. I don't think the show is for you. Sorry, Lindsay. Maybe I shouldn't have read that out.
No, it's fine.
I think it's important to acknowledge that that there is this meanness out there. And that we are trying to create something that is not mean, but sometimes that means you have to expose a bit of the
acknowledge the mean.
Oh God, that's horrible, Richard. Why would you send that, mate? Why would you send that? That really is unpleasant. Sorry, Lindsay, I've ended our phone call on a down, and I've really enjoyed talking to you.
It's been lovely. Thank you.
Call again.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Have a good night's sleep. Oh, Richard, why would you send that? I mean, come on, mate. Oh, dear. The Glens is a darker place this evening because of your presence. Richard, you have two options. One is to call in and defend that. You won't be able to. Very easy to send a mean text, to phone in and explain. We'll have a rational conversation. Phone in and explain that, or switch off. I don't think the show is. I don't think the show is for you, Richard. Isn't that mean? We've got another Richard coming up. That's not that Richard. No, it's a different Richard. Other Richard and Kieran, I'll come to you after this.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over.
Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Let's go to other Richard. Good evening, other Richard.
Hi, I'd just like to confirm that I'm not from the Glens. I'm not really sure what the Glens are.
Do you know what? Are the Glens Scotland? I think the Glens are...
It sounds like it, doesn't it? Because you get, like, Glenmorangie and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the Glens are Glenmorangie.
Yep.
That must be...
from the whiskey. That maybe explains his text
whiskey. That explains it. Richard, what have you got for us this evening, please?
Actually, I can better your last caller because I had no points when I phoned in. I literally phoned in because I actually didn't start listening until 11:45 tonight, but the guy you had on who hated Christmas and hated people enjoying themselves was so tedious that I decided to phone in to try and break it in. But
I don't think he hated Christmas. I think that's a little bit... That's a little bit extreme, Richard.
I mean, maybe I didn't get the context, but it sounded like he just hated all joy.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. I don't like... Christmas is what you make it. And if you want to think about other people who are less fortunate than you, that's great. But don't try and make people feel guilty if they choose not to do that. You know. Yeah,
I used to absolutely hate it, to be honest, until I got two little nephews, and now, I love it because I get to blow loads of, hundreds of pounds on toys for them that they're probably never going to play with. But
how old are they?
They're 7 and 5.
Oh, see, good ages. My boys are just going to be 7 and 5 next month. Good ages for Christmas because they buy into all of it.
Yeah, I generally try and buy the loudest toys I possibly can.
Yeah.
Just some minor things. My older sister.
Well, that's the job of, and well done. Well, for anyone who's about to become an uncle or an auntie or a grandparent, your job is at birthdays and Christmases to buy the noisiest presents for your nieces, nephews, and grandchildren that you can buy.
The very sort of first Christmas, because obviously the first couple of years they don't really know what's going on. And I think when it was probably 3, my eldest nephew, first kind of understood what Christmas was and he was getting presents. And I bought him my first glockenspiel, which the intention was very, very clear.
Yeah.
And my sister was pretty confident that he wouldn't even know what to do with it. And he literally unwrapped the present and just picked up the thing, the stick, and just started smashing it very loudly, straight as he got it.
Why?
And she was so confused.
Why do we call glockenspiel a glockenspiel? Why do we use the German term for it? Now, Spiel is play. Is that right? Spiel is play. Glocken.
I have no idea.
Is Glocken wood? Wood? I'm going to guess. I don't. Glocken. Beat? Or why don't we?
I'm guessing we did because we don't know what the English word for it is.
Exactly. No one's worked out what a Glocken is. A Glocken. Well, a Glock is a gun.
Yeah.
A gun play? Is that what it means?
Well, now I hope I have an interest into a life of crime and violence.
But there are no other instruments that we call by their foreign name, apart from the French horn. I thank you. Whoa, hey, come on, man. No tumbleweed. That was a good gag.
I've watched two stand-up comedians absolutely die tonight. Sorry,
you have been blessed. Was it uncomfortable to watch, or did you enjoy it?
You know what? Sometimes it's really good to watch a stand-up absolutely die, but it wasn't like a sort of like an open mic thing or anything. It was two preview sets of like probably their forthcoming shows for the end of next year.
Okay. So were they names then?
No, not really. You know, sort of like. Wouldn't be playing in a pub at Edinburgh for like 50 people, maybe like 100 people.
Okay, yeah.
And the first guy you know, when a set starts going wrong, and rather than just going, okay, maybe this material isn't good, let's throw something else.
Yeah.
They turn on the audience.
Oh, no.
So he started, like, accusing us of not understanding the joke.
Yeah, that's right. You're a thick audience. That's going to win people round.
We understand your jokes, mate. They're just not very good.
Oh, that's brilliant. I wish I'd seen that. Because I would have. Did anyone shout back? No, it's because you're pony, mate.
Yeah, they didn't actually. Some guy did try to heckle, but he was a bit drunk, so it didn't really go that well. But yeah, the second guy was actually pretty funny and was obviously a bit more practice. You could tell he'd been doing it for a lot longer. But then. And he kind of had the audience in the palm of his hand, and then he started sort of like going on this really militant atheist thing at the end. I don't think any of the audience was religious, but it just didn't sit well. And he didn't pick up that it wasn't sitting well. It's like, oh yeah, we get it, you don't believe in God. And he just sort of went on. It just, by the end of it, everyone's just like,
But we, comedians have to fail to get to the good stuff. And were there other comedians on that did well?
No, it was literally the two of them. So usually on this night there are like about sort of like 6 or 7 comedians doing 20-minute sets.
That's a bit rubbish.
They decided to do like 50-minute sets each, like previews, and I guess seeing what worked and what didn't. But it was mainly what didn't.
I'm being told by Gareth that Glocken is Bell. So it's Bell Play. Oh dear.
Bell Play. Oh, yeah, that sounds like something that's maybe illegal now.
Come on. Okay, you're not allowed to play. Well, I've stopped. Richard, I've censored myself. There we go. I've managed to censor myself. Kieran.
Hello,
Kieran.
Hello, mate. You're right.
I'm all right, Kieran. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. First time caller, so I'm a bit nervous.
A lot of fun. Is tonight's show a new and newish callers only? Because we've had loads of new calls, which is brilliant.
Yeah, well, I've listened to you for the last 2 months, I think.
Okay.
And I've been impressed with the way you've come forward with regards to, because you suffered with your own mental health.
Yes.
And as I have myself, back in 2005, I had a breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
And suffer now with depression and psychothemia.
What? And psychothemia?
Psychothemia, yeah.
What's that?
It is a form of bipolar.
Oh, okay.
Somebody famous, can't think of his name now, called it bipolar light. But yes, it is a form of it. You don't get the very, very embarrassing highs as people with bipolar do, but you do get a high and a low as well.
Would it be fair to say it's sort of somewhere in the middle?
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
right. On both the highs and the lows.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
But or maybe not the lows. The lows can be very, very low.
Oh, so you still get the So you still get the really lows, but you don't get the very highs. You just get a bit highs.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
And when I'm sounds like I'm taking drugs, but when I'm high, it can increase my creativity, my ability to link A to Z. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. I'm not bipolar, but I do very, very occasionally, I'll get the highs. Yeah. And will. You're right. I suddenly become incredibly creative, and I will have five things go on the go at once.
Yeah, but that must help you in your profession and being.
Oh, it's good.
And that I can you're going to link things so much quicker than you would
I can sit at my computer and I will literally have 8 or 10 windows open, and I'll be writing something, and then I'll just flip through all the windows. But I don't get that very often. That's kind of a rarity for me, and when I recognise it when I get it, and I go out.
I have that around 3-4 times a year where I'm that that high, you know. But no, I was just sort of reason for phoning is just to give you a pat on the back, really, because you know, irrelevant people like the Katie Hopkins and the Trumps of this world are, you must see them as irrelevant. People like that.
Well, Trump is president of the United States. He's going to be the president.
They are still irrelevant as human beings. They are immoral, or amoral, I should say, human beings. I pity them. Trump is a father. Like, I've got 4 children. You've got children.
Yeah, but would you go out with any of your children if you weren't their dads? Because he would. He'd go out with his daughter if she wasn't his daughter.
Put it this way, that's pretty sick, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's incredible, and they still voted him in after saying that.
But then, because it's an element, that's what I'm saying, it's this element of hate, this hate of, I believe in the Bible, I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and it says in the Bible that in the last days of this system, not the world or anything, good will become bad and bad will become good.
Oh, hang on a minute, we're not in last days, are we?
Well...
Are we getting close?
I believe, I'm not going to start preaching to you or anything. But at the end of the day, in the Bible, there have been prophecies that are coming true. But I'm not going to say anything.
It's getting close to rapture.
No, not rapture. Actually, there's a lot of things like rapture and all that have been completely made up.
Oh.
They don't even. They're not in the Bible.
Oh.
Like hellfire, another thing, not in the Bible, all made up, just to try and suppress people, mainly by the Catholic Church. So, those types of things.
I like the sound of rapture. Rapture is where, is it the final day? Yeah, you get zapped up in like a massive light or something.
Well, yeah, like a UFO type.
Yeah, I like the sound of rapture. Have you seen that film? It's a terrible film, but it's got those young American American actors in it playing themselves, and Rihanna is in it playing herself, and they're having a party, and then during the party, rapture happens. And have you seen that? It's a bad film, but it's
something I wouldn't really watch.
You would not watch that. No.
It's pretty rubbish, actually. But there we are. I quite like science fiction, but that's a bit rubbish. Anyway, now what I'd just like to say is thank you for giving people like me the confidence to ring up people like you.
Well, thank you, man.
Because I'm not naturally a confident guy anyway. So thank you, and good luck in the future, and ignore the haters. And if I was you, just come off Twitter.
Yeah,
you don't need to be on that.
Kieran,
you're not hate. You don't represent hate.
I wish I could, but Twitter is so good at advertising this radio show and advertising shows. I wish I could. I wish I could close down my Twitter account and walk away from it. I can't. I think I'm addicted to it in the same way that people get addicted to drugs and alcohol. I'm addicted to it. I am. I'm addicted to it.
I know what you mean.
I'm justifying it in my head. Of course I could walk away from it and my life would be immeasurably better, but I can't do it.
People are nasty, essentially, because it's, one, the way they're brought up, two, what they're feeding their minds on continually.
Yeah.
And also the gutter press and the gutter media and the hate, and the popular thing is now to... jump on the bandwagon of, these nasty Muslims, these nasty whoever, that's, at the end of the day, treating others the way you want to be treated. Like Jesus said, is it such a
Nice to talk to you, Kieran. Thanks for calling, mate.
You too.
Bye-bye. Last 20 minutes of the show. Catherine, get your ass in here. Dear callers, we have no calls lined up. For the first time, I said this week was going to be a tough sell from the point of calls. I think we've had more calls the last couple of nights we've had in a while, and they've all been, interesting at the very least. If you want to give us a call, now will be an excellent time. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
The wild man of late night radio is back.
Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. I'm just waiting for Facebook to catch up because I've moved the camera around. There we go. Put it down a little bit.
Or should I move my chair up?
No. Don't worry. We're in... There's a slight delaying turn. You're grinning like an idiot. Why is it not moving?
I don't
even care.
It doesn't matter. You can just about.
I don't even care. I don't even care anymore. There we go.
Is. Wait. Too high.
Oh, that's good. That'll do. Whoa.
Whoa.
Hang on, it's going up now.
This isn't going to help. I'm going to get more filth.
There we go. Fixed.
Boom.
Boom. There we go. You see, guys. Dave is on the line. Good evening, Dave. Good evening, Dave. Hello, Dave? Dave?
Hello, Dave.
Dave, can you hear me, Dave? Dave!
He's there.
Dave, you massive plum!
Hello, mate. Sorry, you've got all Dalek on.
Hang on a minute. Sometimes I move you to a different line. Is that better, Dave? Right. Ed, give Dave a call back.
Preferably on not a space line.
Let me speak to William. William!
Hello.
Hello, William. Good evening. Welcome. Bienvenue. Thank you for calling. What would you like to say?
Is that Ian, yeah?
Yeah. Who do you think it's going to be?
I didn't expect to get through straight away, to be honest with you.
Well, we've only towards the end of the show, we've got no calls. We've got you, and we're ringing Dave back. So, chop, chowdy, chowdy.
Well, I've just ducked out from my work on a quick break because I work night shifts every night, so I don't normally get a chance to call, but I've been listening to it for ages, but I never actually get the chance to call in.
What you doing that means you've got to work through the night?
Work in an office in Glasgow.
Through the night?
Through the night, yep.
Oh,
There's guys that work day shift, and then we work through the night.
Oh, so. Mate. How long you been doing that for?
Just over a year.
How are you finding it?
Well, it's all right. I mean, I don't get to see my kids as much as I'd like, but it needs to be done, needs must, so...
Yeah, I suppose so. And how are you feeling? Because night shift is not supposed to be a particularly healthy lifestyle, both physically and mentally.
I've heard that your body can only cope with it for so long before you start seeing the consequences, but I try and get a decent bit of sleep during the day, so...
Yeah. Well, good, because listen, if it's working for you, mate, that's good. What have you got for us, William?
Well, I'd called kind of two reasons, really. I know you get a lot of people calling up in relation to depression and stuff like that.
Yes.
I can't say personally that I think that I'm on the level of that, but I mean, in the past I have been kind of having strange thoughts, so to speak, but I'm really thinking that I don't trust modern medicine or the practices of the way that they do things, really, because I think a lot of doctors are influenced by a lot of these pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah.
And they quite easily put people on antidepressants and all the rest of it, and I don't think that it's necessarily the best course of action for some people.
Oh, no, definitely. It's definitely not. For some people it is, and for some people it isn't. And I do... The thing about doctors, yes, I do wonder about backhanders and, bonuses and things being given if you prescribe this drug. But also, your GP's got you for 10 minutes. They've got 10 minutes to make an assessment on how nuts you are and whether pills are going to help or not.
Also, I've heard instances of people not being offered, talking therapies or counselling. They just get medication straight away, but I guess that's...
Yes, so quickly and easily dealt with, and are they actually getting to the root of the problem?
And of course, in 10 minutes you can't. 10 minutes you can't do it. And hey, listen, the cards on the table. I'm very lucky. For several years now, I pay and see a private doctor. When it comes to mental health, the GP stuff, I still go to the GP, and I've booked an appointment next week for my throat.
Good. Do you want me to drive you?
No, but I've been seeing this wonderful doctor at the Priory, and I'm lucky enough that I can't really afford it at the moment, actually, because funds are a little bit tight, so I kind of space out going to see him. But I get a half-hour session with him, and we talk about stuff, and I can go and see him, and he'll tinker with the meds a bit and raise this and take this one down.
The thing is, look, I know it's expensive, and you've said that to me before, but what price your mental health?
What price life? What price
well,
life?
And it is that. It's just, it comes down to survival, doesn't it?
Yes, but then you got people who can't afford that, and you know, it's a lot of money, who can't afford that, and you have to go to the GP, and you've got 10 minutes, and not every GP gets it, although they're a lot better now, and you know, it's kind of dependent on who you see, and 10 minutes ain't long enough to sort anyone out.
Well, I don't know that this is going off on a bit of a kind of tangent, but I know you obviously like kind of speak fondly of like your kind of past when you kind of maybe smoked a bit of weed or did a bit of other stuff. Whatever you did.
A little bit of that going on. I'm not going to lie.
Do you not think though that in a way, the way society treats those drugs, like, I mean, just for talking sake, say, for instance, you were still interested in smoking a little bit of weed.
Yes.
Would you and yourself feel better for the fact that you did that than you wouldn't necessarily need to kind of take the antidepressants?
It wouldn't work. Smoking weed wouldn't affect me doesn't affect me in a positive way, and it didn't affect me in a positive way for a very, very long time. So that, you know, the creativity and the giggles and all of that stuff, that went after a very short time. But I don't think weed is particularly good for depression. Certainly not for mine.
Mm.
But I don't think I think that smoking weed is not the worst thing in the world that you could possibly do.
Yeah. I think that society, the way society perceives it, and the way people are made to perceive it, is that they associate it with bad things, and not necessarily that, just any drugs really, because, I mean, the only thing I've ever done is smoke weed, to be honest with you. I've never done anything else, but if somebody wants to take something and they're living an honest life, working and getting by, and that's their only vice, then who's to say that they can't do that?
I've seen more violent nutcases boozed up than stoned, and I'm not really should we legalise it? I've never really cared about that argument until I went and interviewed Baroness. Do you remember? I can't remember. Meacher, Baroness Meacher, who had conducted. She's in the House of Lords, and I got to go interview in the House of Lords. It was incredible. She's conducted an all-party, research paper into the effects of cannabis, and she's looked at all the evidence from all over the world, and it was a long thing. And I sat down and spoke with her, and she basically explained to me why she thinks that legalising cannabis would be a good idea. And she knows all the facts. She knows all the facts. And so I kind of think if she says it's a good idea, I kind of think it's a good idea. Of course, when they presented that report to the government, they ignored it because it said something they didn't want it to say.
I've got a theory, and it sounds nuts, but bear with me.
Yes, okay.
Right, this country is now addicted to caffeine with coffees, really strong coffees, stuff that we didn't get 10 years ago.
Beautiful.
I think I'd be interested to speak to doctors about the amount of anxiety that they're treating as a result of that.
Yeah, well, we went nuts on that Starbucks coffee.
That's what I mean.
We bought.
I've given up, pretty much given up caffeine as a result of battering this really strong coffee. But we were drinking it in the mornings, weren't we, when we were doing breakfast? We were drinking it like water. It didn't have an effect on us anymore. And I bought this really strong stuff. And I swear to you, one weekend, because I left it at work, I had the biggest downer I've ever had in my life, to the point where I was looking up, on NHS Direct, looking up low mood and stuff. I couldn't work out what was wrong with me.
You were jonesing.
Totally withdrawing from it. And when I came off coffee completely, I had about 3 days of proper withdrawal symptoms.
I saw you drinking a normal Coke earlier on.
Oh, that's what I mean. I've pretty much given it up. Coffee, though. No, but coffee. Coffee's something else.
William, listen, I'm going to move on because we've got loads of calls to get through, which is odd for this time. Thank you for that. Dave, we've got you back.
Hello, buddy. You all right?
There we go.
How are you, sir?
I'm all right, thank you, Dave. What you got for us?
What's up with Eddie Baby, the caller a little while ago, with his end of the day Shit.
I mean,
how annoying was that?
At the end of the day, I mean...
People do it a lot, you know, once you notice it.
I tell you what annoys me. What annoys me is the people who don't listen when you say, are you going to listen? They go on then, go on, make your point. And then you make your point and you've obviously finished and they're silent. They're going, oh, I was waiting for you to finish. That annoys me. Guys, come on, that's what 12-year-olds... No, not even 12-year-olds. That's what 7-year-olds do. You've completely lost the argument once you start, oh, I was waiting for you to finish. I've finished. So, petulance. But you know, wait, hey, listen, Dave, don't forget to have a miserable Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look, listen, I'm donating to Crisis at Christmas, so someone's going to have a nice Christmas lunch on me. Don't worry about that.
Well, you should, you know.
You should be serving it up, don't just donate.
Be serving it. I cannot wait for the Christmas dinner. This shows how old I am now. The highlight of Christmas Day for me is the Christmas dinner. That's all I'll be waiting about, is the Brussels sprouts. Yeah.
The highlight for me, the cheese afterwards. I'll be on that all night.
Cass on the cheese.
Cheese and Brussels sprouts. One more thing, Ian, please, if I may.
Of course you can.
Years gone by, you used to have quite a good rapport with a young lady called Vinnie. Is she still about?
Vinnie calls up right at the very end of the show about once every 6 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Literally, the last 30 seconds, her number will pop up on my screen, and I'll put her through, and she'll go, yeah, I think you're rubbish. And that'll be the end of the show. Yeah. About once every 6 weeks.
Okay. Oh, but she's still okay,
She's still alive.
She's still there, and she's still unimpressed.
And she's still living with her mum. Dave, I'm going to go because I want to squeeze in. We've got loads of calls. Look, let's, Manny. Let's go to Manny. Evening, Manny.
Morning.
No, it's evening.
No, it's morning.
Well, we've not had a sleep. The rules, come on.
You've got to have a sleep before you can say morning.
Okay.
Thank you.
Should have ended bloody Eddie's day, shouldn't it?
Say that again, Manny.
Eh?
Huh?
Should have ended bloody Eddie's day. Hey?
Hey. Oh, it's like a fun vacuum.
You know these people that slag other people off?
Like you.
Like you've just done.
Yeah, but he was an idiot. How would they like it if, say, that had happened to, say, their brother and sister, and then somebody's, you know, sort of slagging them off?
Oh, you mean like in the case of Joe Cox and stuff? Yeah, no, of course they wouldn't. But we're all snowflakes for being upset about these things. The world has got a nastier place, and you will not be able to get the genie back in the bottle. It's out there now. There's no going back from it, I'm afraid.
It's like that Andy or what's his name, Alex, who finds, you know, he takes a piss out of you sometimes.
Oh, I'm not even worried about him. He's a silly.
He should have an arsehole to his bloody name.
He's a jealous little troll. And here's the thing, because I got into a little spat with him on Twitter. Here's the thing. I would love for him to... I've offered him a slot. You remember when he was threatening me with the police because someone on his Wikipedia page called him a nonce?
Terrible business.
Yeah. I mean, he thought it was me and he threatened me. And I didn't have a clue what he was talking about, but I said, look, I can't remember what his real name is, Alex. If you want to come on the show, I'd love to have you on the show. And that invitation...
Because he sends really long emails, which sounds to me like someone who wants to talk.
No, honestly, it's an open... I still like... The invitation is there. If he wants to come on as a guest on the show or do a little showbiz feature once every now and then, I'd be well up for that. Totally up for that. Anyway, we're out of time now. So that's it. That's your lot. Camera back on me, the good-looking one.
Ha!
Edwards, thank you very much. Catherine, thank you very much. Oh, don't forget New Year's Eve. We're on New Year's Eve. We got the New Year's Eve jingles, and I forgot to fire them off. We'll do them tomorrow. I've not heard them.
You got one.
What?
Yep.
Oh, disappointing. The two mics are probably up next, and they're very, very funny. Ta-ta.
It's turkey time on Talk Radio.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
I'm just a big kid, and I love Christmas so much.
Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.